We're starting our stream here for the fourth of my D&D group's one-shot adventures. This time around, we have Joshua as Kaz. Josh, tell me what has been going on in Kaz's life in the last couple weeks, and where is he at right now?
Geez, I usually rely on the others for the recap. Let's see, what has happened last? I've been enthralled in the previous one-shots, so
I'll help.
it's hard to separate. Yeah, please.
The before the current day, you guys were heading to the River Styx to return the coronet of Lolth to the Raven Queen herself in person. You succeeded, and you came back to Drakengard to kind of catch your breath and just take a moment to be appreciative that you're all still alive. All that happened. After some discussion, the four of you decided to split up and run off to do your various important events that you've kind of been putting on the back burner for all of you. Demiria went to the Bulgrazian festival in Bulgraz with her girlfriend Ova. Sir went off to explore the issue he's been having with his bad luck curse. And Zephyr went off to spend time at Vexel's tower researching the mystery of the quintessahedrons and trying to decipher the intricacies of them. So, nice. All of your friends have been heavily relying upon you, Kaz, for teleportation because you can recharge that on a short rest. So you've been spending the past couple days just bopping around Athendria, being an escort. But at this moment, everyone is where they want to be, and they're all set for the next several days. So you are currently standing on the deck of the Perilous Periton, docked in Drakengard. What is it that you want to do with this time to yourself?
So, now that I have some time to do my own thing, kind of, and we're all doing our own things, Kaz remembers the vision he saw from, I think it was a scrying from with Zephyr. About
might have been scry. It might have been an Ingvar vision as well. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think it was Ingvar vision.
Both,
that's right? Yeah, of my father in the tropics of Varabanga or the Kelafane Wilds. Which one was it?
Definitely seemed like the tropics.
Yes. So the vision being of my father, kind of with a couple of other people, or who I believe to be my father, with a couple of people in the tropics, kind of scared and like ragged looking around in a camp. I need to figure out, or I want to rather figure out how to get there so I can meet and talk to Kaz's dad.
Exactly. Do you have... I don't believe you or Zephyr have access to a teleportation circle near the tropics. You can go to Crystalia, but that's quite a distance away.
That's quite a distance. Yeah, no, I would need to investigate a way to get there.
Some additional background that you would know. This person that you believe to be your father, his name is Laurence Revillon, and he is a... even though his brother doesn't really think that's what he's doing, he's clearly indebted to the CCC in some capacity and is operating as a indentured adventurer in the tropics. So it's possible that the CCC may know of his whereabouts more or less, at least better than a broad statement of the tropics.
Right, and I think that's where I should start, is maybe inquiring about volunteering to go to the tropics. Maybe I'll pursue that. Yeah, that sounds like an interesting idea. I'm gonna maybe make my way to a CCC and inquire about volunteering to the tropics.
All right.
Volunteering.
So you go to the CCC Choice Cuts Corporation guild just down the road from the tower where your airship is currently docked. You step in and you see you've done some business here already in the past for various reasons. The gnome accountant woman is behind the counter, and she looks up and says, hello, Casbiel. How can I help you today?
Hello. Yes. See, I'm interested in potentially volunteering in the tropics of Irving. I hear that it's a pretty good deal. Going there and exploring and getting to keep a certain percentage of whatever you find. I believe is the deal.
We don't usually do volunteers. So what I'm hearing is that you're looking at coming on board to do adventuring minus the indentured part.
Yeah. You guys don't you guys do something like that?
Well,
seems
not
to be an
really.
option.
So the reason why is that if you were to be included in our operations, you would be given information about the presence of certain ruins, and we honestly kind of keep that as a bit of a trade secret for the purpose of our adventuring crew.
I see.
We're not really looking for people to go and make their fortune. We're looking for people to return on an initial investment they failed to return themselves on. So we don't really
Understood.
do volunteers.
Well, let's think about it really quickly though. Usually it's you send people to get money back that they've already owed plus some, agreed upon interest rate, yada yada. If you were to just send somebody there, they'd be getting you money for free.
Oh, so you would not be looking to take your findings with you. This would be purely free adventuring.
Some percentage, I'm sure for travel expenses and the overhead costs of it sounds we could work out a percentage, maybe 50-50. Seems pretty lucrative.
It's an interesting offer. I will have to escalate this to the general manager. One moment. She walks out, and 10 minutes later, you see a dwarf with heavy spectacles comes waddling out from the back. He says, "Hello, Casbiel. We know who you are. You're well liked around here. What is this I hear about volunteering?" You explain it again. He says, "Well, we've never really done something like that. People tend not to want to go to that part of the world. But if you're volunteering,
if it's so lucrative as you say, I don't see why people wouldn't want to go. If they were prepared, and myself and my friends are generally prepared for this type of thing. Others are as well.
That's true. Let me write up a contract." And he says, "You wait here. I'll be back." And he goes in this back room. He hears some scribbling and arguing, and 15 minutes later comes out with a long scroll covered in lawyerese. But you take a look at it. The breakdown is about 10 to 90% of you keep 10%, they keep 90% of whatever you bring back in terms of wealth. And he explains that number being specifically that this, once again, there's a finite number of collectible resources in the tropics, and their adventures there serve as a debt recollection mechanism and less of an opportunity for people to get rich quick. So he's willing to work with you on this, but he has to be a bit more. It really has to benefit them more than you for them to be okay with this arrangement.
I see. So let's see. I'm sure we can work out something. How's this sound? And with that sentence, I'm going to cast glibness on myself.
God, you have it too? Oh no.
Yes, I do.
Oh no. Okay. You cast glibness on yourself as well, and roll a persuasion check.
Okay, well, I want to say specifically this. If it needs to benefit you more than myself, a 60-40 split sounds like exactly that, on the condition that the transportation there and back is teleportation, not long overseas air travel. How's that sound?
Go ahead and roll persuasion. He says, no worries, that's how we do this anyway, but
Um, 24 because rolled a 10, got a 19 plus 5.
Yeah, yeah. 24. He says, all right, final offer. We'll shuttle you to our outpost in the tropics of Erebang, and we'll outfit you as necessary, direct you to where more of our operations are currently ongoing, and then it'll be a 30-70 split. You get 30, we get 70.
Deal.
He shakes on it. That's a pretty good deal, honestly. For you need glibness to get that level of nonsense. Okay.
It's Pork Chop's company we're talking about. I didn't expect a 50-50.
Right. So yeah, they agree to this arrangement. You sign the contract, and they start giving you the information. They're like, okay, well, show up here in 2 days. We have our next shipment out of indentured adventurers. You'll join them, and we'll drop you there in our outpost in Parhua, and you'll have to make your way deeper to where the ruins are from there. Deal?
Sounds good.
All right. I'll see you in 2 days sharp.
Wonderful.
You turn and walk out the building, and as you step out into the city streets of Drakengard on the warm summer day, you hear a voice send into your mind in that moment. A voice you've heard only once before, and you don't really recall who this is, but you know it's vaguely familiar. It says, Casbiel de Taurus, you are being summoned to the trial of your mother, Duchess Almeda de Taurus, in the Resnor Dominion. The trial takes place sharp, 9 a.m. sharp in the morning. Sorry, at midnight tonight. Be there, and if you cannot arrange transportation, we will come to you. But she sends twice to do this. Do you receive this message?
I have received it. I will be there. Thanks.
All right.
Oh no, I was not prepared for this.
It's only 11 a.m. and you have the rest of the day, but that you get the sense you probably have about 9 or 10 hours before you have to be in person in Shalthalas to present your case.
Yeah.
You were waiting for this call. You just didn't know when it was going to come. But here it is.
I didn't know when this was going to happen. Oh no, I'm not prepared. I thought this was going to be a whole party thing because who am I? But I guess
it's just you.
Okay, just me. In which case, the shopping that I wanted to do is going to be much more last minute. A little frantically, I'm going to run and try to find some potions of healing because I only have the one on me.
A standard one? All right.
Exactly.
Make an investigation.
Oh no, I have a superior, but I just the two is a little scary.
You guys
18.
did 18. You did wipe out Drakengard stock like a few months ago, but it's been long enough that you can maybe actually find them here. With an 18, I'll say you find 2 standard and 1 greater on sale.
I will. How much?
That's going to be 75 for 2 standards and 250 for the greater. For 400 total.
How quickly do I find them? Because I have
1 hour.
I have glibness for an hour.
I'll say it stays up for your.
Okay.
You find the one guy who has these, and he's like haggling with you on it.
Yeah, I will let him know that these are for a good cause. I'm a member of the Greymore gang, and we're trying to solve the city's problems, and we're actually quite famous in the Mistlands, and I'm sure you've heard of us. Is there any way that you could bring those down to a more standard rate?
Yeah,
persuasion check. Healing potions go for 50 gold about.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage as you flex your clout and have glibness up.
25.
25. He's like, well, for a member of the Greymore gang, I could easily do probably 25% off. How does 300 sound for all 3?
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
There you go. 2 standard healing and 1 greater.
Be good?
Sir has exactly 0 money after his adventure yesterday. Every last copper gone.
Every last copper, really?
Yep, literally everything. To buy some sausage, like it was last everything he had.
That's good. Equipment. Okay. Okay, now I feel much more prepared. I have 3 and 1 superior, 1 greater. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I will, I guess, go home and prepare for the trial.
You
Considering I used glibness for the day. Oh no.
you get out your Reznor garb and prepare, put your things out, think about what you're going to say, but time passes quickly as you wait aboard the airship. You can teleport to Shelthalis, right?
Yes, I have the teleportation
That's right, you do.
to that.
Yeah.
But
Anything you wanted?
I wanted to give them a heads up, or I guess they know, because
They're
last time I
expecting
didn't
you.
go very well. Okay. Okay. I don't think there's anything that I should be doing first.
Is there any
Yeah, I guess I'll
particular
just wait.
on your arrival? Is there anything in particular you're going to do?
Probably try to be non-threatening, so I don't,
Sure.
you know, just kind of like pop in and like have my hands up because I know how it went last time.
Sure. All right. Time passes. You are about 2 or 3 hours away from the trial. You get the sense this would be a good time to go.
I will start drawing up a circle.
Okay. Draw it up on the deck of the ship. The kobolds salute you goodbye, and you teleport away to Shelthalis. You arrive in the same spot you did before. The dark sky overhead is overcast as usual. But
The Tower of Dispar.
you arrive near the center of the town, and the guards jump to attention, holding up their spears and their swords, but they recognize you. They're like, Casbiel de Taurus, your audience is required at the Dancers Amphitheater. Make your ascent and be prepared for interrogation.
Okay. Like, again, not looking at them, but like, trying to recall the respects of the respecting mannerisms of the drow, since I've not lived among them for quite a while now.
Make a performance check for me.
Performance, huh? 19.
19. You're doing good. Yeah, it all comes back easy as can be. It's uncomfortable to slip back into those behaviors, but you know what you're doing. All right. You walk across the city, keeping your eyes down and avoiding the gaze of the Reznor guards as they kind of stand there watching you go. You climb the tower, the staircase up to this large amphitheater. It's kind of in the base of the Darkspire Mountains, and it's elevated above the city. So as you climb back and forth up these switchbacks, you kind of work up a good sweat. Arriving at the top, you see a large open amphora ahead of you, these kind of stadium seating leading down to a larger area where people can all look down towards the center. On the far side of that is a huge statue of the dancer, the goddess of the Reznor elves that you sort of worshipped growing up, casually, but not really.
Right.
She stands there in a evocative pose, reaching up towards the sky, and she stands, clearly about 10 stories tall, this massive stone statue. Between the feet of the statue, there is a raised platform where you see seated currently the Shade Queen herself sits there looking at you and waiting for this event to take place.
Yeah, I will follow, mannerisms and kind of try to figure out where I'm supposed to be and pay my respects.
You look around and you see the person who sent to you, one of these representatives of the Queen, walks up to you and says, "All right, Casbiel, you've arrived. Please take your seat over here at the prosecutor's side of the realm." And you see like a bench near the front of the open space where there's a space for you to sit. It's labeled.
It's labeled Kaz.
Yep.
Wonderful. All right, I will go and sit and start to watch this unfold.
Yeah, you sit down and wait.
I have no idea what to expect.
Over the next couple hours, as you wait for the trial to begin, dozens and then hundreds of drow come trickling in from around the sides of the stadium, kind of coming up and down and filling in the seats, all beginning to get packed as they arrive to watch the judgment be passed upon your mom, Duchess Olenita de
Do I
Torres,
see her anywhere?
for their crimes. She's not visible anywhere yet. These public trials, you know from your time in Kellanora, are rare, but they're done on matters of large importance because the Shade Queen wants the appearance of her judgment being correct and very public. So it's meant to be a public event. You
Makes sense.
continue to wait about 5 minutes before midnight as the dark overcast sky is around you and the flickering torchlight illuminates the whole stadium area. The Queen stands up and everyone abruptly stands up as well. You do as well. Yeah. And this attendant to the Queen says, bringing out the accused, Duchess Olenita de Torres, her daughter Indra de Torres, and her son Eumenar de Torres. And they all march out in a line. All three of them with almost like not ceremonial, but more decorative chains on their hands and ankles than is necessary. The chains you had in the dungeons before, those are there, but these are like extra just for the flair. They are marched in and sat down. Your mother glances over and looks at you. Do you meet her eyes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And more, I mean, like, yes, and then I want to try to, like, get my brother's attention and kind of, if I do, give him a look of, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to do what I can.
You meet your mom's eyes, and instead of a glare or a disapproving glance like you're used to receiving most of your life, she looks at you for a moment and then just sort of smiles as if she knows something you don't.
Oh no!
Sits down in her chair. Eumenar nods solemnly to you and sits on your side of the room next to you, but he's in chains and you are not.
Oh boy!
The rest of the people responsible for this trial trickle in, and with all that, the announcer says, "All right, everyone be seated." The Shade Queen sits herself down, and he says, "Let's begin the trial of Duchess Olenita de Torres on today's date, the 15th of Awa, year 1097, or whichever year it is. I forgot my calendar date. 1128. Get my alternative music. Okay. Casbiel. You stand there and listen as the prosecutor, a drow woman with refined regalia, stands up and reads off the following. Ladies of the jury, today we are here to discuss the case of the Duchess Olenita Felame de Torres and her daughter, Indra Shadowswift de Torres, who are accused of committing the heinous crime of high treason against the Shade Queen, as well as sedition, consorting with devils, breaching the seal of the world below, assaulting citizens of the Dominion, and misuse of imperial funds. These crimes are grave and represent a clear betrayal of the trust placed in the Duchess by the Shade Queen and the people of the Dominion. Through her actions, the Duchess has shown a blatant disregard for the laws and values of our society, and it is our duty to hold her accountable for her actions. Over the course of this trial, we will present evidence and testimony that will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Duchess is guilty of these crimes. We will show that she conspired with others to overthrow the Shade Queen, that she sought to sow discord and unrest amongst the people of the Dominion, and that she used her position and resources for her own selfish gain. We will also present evidence of the Duchess's involvement with dark forces, including her association with devils and her attempts to breach the seal of the world below. And we will show that the Duchess used her power and influence to assault and harm innocent citizens of the Dominion. We ask that you listen carefully to the evidence and testimony presented in this case and consider it carefully as you reach a verdict. The Duchess must be held accountable for her actions, and we ask that you find her guilty of the crimes of which she is accused.
Oh boy.
She takes her seat. That's not what I want. I'm trying to find the right song here. That'll do. The defense, another drow woman, you recognize her. She's actually like one of the Kelenora's top lawyers, if you will. She is a personal friend of your mother's, and she stands up. High-ranking drow from Kellenora. Ladies of the jury, we appreciate the opportunity to present our case in defense of the Duchess. While the prosecution has outlined a series of serious accusations against the Duchess, we ask that you keep an open mind and consider all of the evidence in this case before reaching a verdict. We acknowledge that the crimes of which the Duchess is accused are serious and carry severe consequences. However, it is important to remember that the Duchess is innocent until proven guilty, beyond a reasonable doubt. As we proceed with this trial, we will present evidence and testimony that will challenge the prosecution's case and raise doubts about the Duchess's guilt. We will show that the witnesses and evidence are unreliable and that there are alternative explanations for the events in question. We ask that you approach this case with fairness and impartiality and consider all of the evidence and all the witnesses before making a decision. We believe that the Duchess is innocent and that the prosecution has not presented sufficient evidence to prove her guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. We ask that you acquit the Duchess of the charges against her. Thank you. She sits down.
Oh boy.
The Shade Queen nods and says, "All right, we will begin. Prosecution may first present their witness." The drow woman standing next to you, Kaz, turns and looks at you and nods and says, "Stand up."
Oh, I'm first. Okay. I'll stand up and make my way to whatever position I'm supposed to be in. Or like stall or whatever.
You stand, there's a podium dead center at the very center of this entire amphitheater with all of the citizens of Shelthalis, the Shade Queen, your mom and siblings staring at your back. You walk up to it, standing there, the only non-drow in this arena, non-full drow anyway, and with everyone's eyes drilling into your back, you look up at the Shade Queen. She says, "All right, Casbiel de Taurus, give me your account of the events as you have before."
I will. Oh, where do I start? I mean, I'd like to, as Josh, give the accounts as gracefully as Kaz would, but I
won't make you recount everything. Just give me a bullet list of the things you're going to say.
I'll tell her about the proof that we have that she has broken the seal and gone to the Underdark via the head of that monster that were several of that we were attacked with. I will.
They bring it out. It's been preserved, and it's like a gross head on a tray, and they hold it up, and the crowd gasps. Continue.
I will testify that I saw her use magic and admit to to have taken a pact with a demon or devil with dark forces. I will testify that she sent Indra and Yuvanar to a city where she believed a dark demonic relic was in an attempt to gain power. And I will note, however, that while Indra attacked, Yuvanar was swayed not to, and saw my mother's deceptions, trying to again give him some credibility.
All right.
And I'd also like to note that the only reason why Indra is here today, well, being that I talked some sense into my brother when I was going to strike the final blow, having defeated my sister, he talked me down, which is a example of his newfound honor towards justice.
And respect for Resnorian norms. You know, she is the elder, she is the leader, and he stood up for her even though he felt she was in the wrong. He preserved her life. All right.
Right.
Okay, that is your defense. This is a skill challenge, Caspiel.
Oh boy.
I would like you to start with a persuasion check with advantage as you recount your accurate series of events.
All right. Let me roll this in Foundry. 2d20 keep highest.
Yep.
Plus 9.
/R space 2d20 KH plus 9.
Oh, okay. KH plus 9. Got it. 24.
24. 15 plus 9. That is a success. You tell your whole story. Everyone is riveted. Everyone listens, and nothing. You can hear a pin drop when you finish. The Shade Queen nods and says, I have personally fact-checked the accounts provided by Caspiel with Umanar, as well as with Indra and Duchess Olenita. They provide different accounts, but to the best of my knowledge, Caspiel is telling the truth. Next, Caspiel, I need you to make a history check with advantage.
Okay. That is plus 7. Ooh, double 7s. Interesting. 14.
A nat 1 and a 7 for 14. That is a failure.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Was it a nat 1? Oh, it was. Wow.
As you...
I'm proficient in history.
I know. As you... 15 is the DC, by the way. As you say that, you... as you've told everything, you go back and take your seat, and the prosecution comes up to the defendant comes up to the podium and says, we have an issue with Caspiel's recounting of events. Perhaps Caspiel left out some important details, such as his time visiting his mother in Kellanora, which resulted in the death of multiple Kellanorian Resnor citizens, the burning of several buildings, as well as the misuse of, or the waste of funds as we attempted to apprehend this dangerous criminal. I believe it's unreasonable to... You're not allowed to say anything. That's not how this works. We believe that Caspiel's testimony should be disregarded outright as the ramblings of a exiled con artist. The people murmur a lot about that.
Aggressive.
It is. The Shade Queen says, overruled, but we hear the objections. The source, Caspiel's account, does need to be taken with a grain of salt, given his history and obvious reasons for disliking Duchess Olenita. So that's a failure and a success.
I just for flavor, I'd like to try to speak. I would describe that
as you're trying to do that. The prosecutor next to you, the drow woman, she's grabs your hand and shoves it down and says
okay, all right, kind of sinks back down in my chair.
Next up, they call up Umanar, and he gives his accounts. He divulges a lot, even more than you did, regarding his knowledge of his mother's crimes, his cooperation while he thought that they were legitimate, and then his growing horror upon learning slowly of her consorting with the Underdark and use of powerful magics, and having to go along with Indra, but not having the courage to stand up until the last moment, and so on and so forth. It reinforces your story, and further gives evidence to his humility and whatnot. I'm going to make a roll for him. This is going to count in this regard. He has advantage.
Wonderful.
Plus his persuasion modifier is 6. Ooh. 2 and a 5.
2 and a 5. Oh god.
Real bad. It's 2 failures.
Stuck with D&D Beyond.
2 failures, 1 success. You both do your best, but there's definitely this bias against you in that you are both males in a female-dominated society. You are both people who stand to gain from the prosecution of your sister and mother, and some of the people, not a minority, but not an unreasonably small amount, would probably be assessing your attempts, your willingness to throw them under the bus and take over. Uminar's potential best outcome would be taking over as head of the house, or maybe running, the businesses or whatever. So you can hear people murmuring a lot as the prosecution continues to try and undermine Uminar as well after that. They say all these things, and the Duchess goes up and begins to argue in favor of herself, and say that everything she's ever done has been in the service of the Shade Queen, and proceeds to spin a complex but convincing account of her poor son that she once loved, turning against her with dark magic, she refers to you, and being forced to exile him, and then proceeds to talk about your travels through the Underdark and how your consorting with the Drow of the Underdark led to them coming to the surface and forcing her to cut a deal, lest the people of Kellinor be overrun by an onslaught from below. And she twists and she spins and she creates
I have several holes to poke in that.
Yeah. So as she completes her story and goes back down to sit down, people are murmuring even louder. And prosecution says, well, we'd like Casbiel to take the stand once again to reply to this particular series of accusations. You're brought forth once again. What do you do?
Your Grace, Majesty, Honor, however I'm supposed to pronounce, however I'm supposed to address the Shade Queen.
Your High Darkness.
Your High Darkness. There are several issues wrong with my mother's account just now, in that first of all, she admits that the seal has been broken towards the underworld outright, whether that be these creatures that she speaks of or whether that had been herself, harder to determine. However, if the seal to the Underdark was broken, why and pose such a large threat, why is yourself not heard of this until now? Surely she would ask her queen for help with such a grave matter, being tasked with Shelthalos' defense from the Underdark. Secondly, the fact that I have consorted with dark magics does not, which I will openly admit, and which is why I was exiled.
People murmur louder.
Discount from her doing the exact same thing and not being banished. I saw with my own eyes, and you could probably find the marks on her body somewhere, as they are usually required.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
19. That's a success.
Oh.
So you're 2 and 2. Next one is the tiebreaker. First one of the three wins.
Oh no.
They all murmur and talk to each other. You look back at your mom, and she's still smiling at you. The defense says, we would like to present evidence against Casbiel's claim. Your mother steps up. They roll up her shirt, and on the spot on her ribcage where you had seen the brand before, you see smooth, flawless, unblemished skin. She says, as you can see, there are no such marks as Casbiel claims, and his story is a fabrication, and returns to the seat. The prosecution looks concerned and taps her lips, and she says, Casbiel, one more time with me to the stand.
Okay.
You go back up, and she says, while there is no obvious proof, no physical evidence, there are a variety of ways in which the Duchess could have circumnavigated this through magic or illusions. We've placed dispel magic and truth speaking upon this space, but we can't be sure as to the extent of her abilities, if they are truly derived from the dark powers. Casbiel, as someone who is familiar with the dark magic of the fiends, what is it that what insights can you provide into how the Duchess may have achieved these lies?
The only insight that I can give is my experience in how just over a year ago, in naivety, I took an offer for power from a simple face in a fire, wishing to embolden my house to be powerful and help with the war in Archelon or wherever, to be as powerful as my brother Yuminar, and bring great honor. I struck this deal not knowing what it entailed. Since then, I've learned a great deal in my exile, but it can be as simple as that.
All right. What check do you want to make? You can do persuasion again. You've done it twice.
History, because of recounting that time in my life when I took the deal and how I was.
I'll let you do history again.
All right.
Last one for all the money.
Oh, thank God.
That's 16 plus 7. Yeah. As you recount your upbringing, you speak with integrity and transparency, and you don't attempt to shy away from your shortcomings and your the ways that you've fractured your relationship with the Reznor Dominion. In all of this, the Shade Queen stares at you, her eyes piercing, and even though you kind of shrink away from that gaze, knowing that it is passing judgment upon you for consorting with fiendish powers, you still can tell that she appreciates your honesty. As the trial concludes, the Shade Queen stands up and says, "My decision is made. Thank you both for your presentations today to the defense and prosecution. But, in the light of the evidence, in the nature in which it was presented, and the timing of these events, there are too many holes in the Duchess's defense for it to be believed in its entirety. As such, my judgment is the following. The Duchess is sentenced to life in prison. In my dungeon, she will atone for her misuse of my trust and the trust of the people of the Reznor Dominion. Indra will follow her as her executor, and she shares the blame and the responsibility of her mother. Yuminar, who is involved and implicated, will be stripped of his rank and his noble title. He will join his brother Casbiel in exile from the Reznor Dominion as he seeks out a new life to seek atonement beyond the domain of our space.
Oh, wow.
Okay. House de Taurus is removed from its noble rank, and the new keepers of Kellanora will be appointed to House Falinar. And she gestures to the prosecutor that you've been sitting next to, who bows gravely in like a acknowledgement or acceptance of this judgment. You know House Falinar is one of the noble houses. They're like just a step or two below your own in terms of rank, but they just got elevated by their hard work, and they're taking over.
Good people, I hope.
House de Taurus. Yuminar looks like kind of extra gray, and stares at the floor. But the Shade Queen says, "My judgment is absolute. You all saw the fairness and the transparency of this trial. May it be so, and may justice be wrought upon those who would seek to harm my empire." She slams her staff on the ground, turns and walks away. The guards get up and begin to lead away your sister and mother. Yuminar's chains are unlocked, and he's given allowed to freely move with you. He looks at you, and you speak to each other for a moment. What do you say?
I am sorry that this is the way that it is, but it is a better option than it could be. I would like to extend an invitation for you to live with me if you'd like. We have room on our airship. If you'd like to travel on your own, I understand. I can outfit you with whatever I can to help. Gold, magic, whatever. Um, Let me know.
He shakes your hand slowly and says, "It's very generous of you, Kaz. I may lean on your generosity in the future, but I think it's time that I follow in your footsteps and learn a bit more about the broader world out there. I've made some poor choices in my life, and I'm due for learning more about why the people in power, like my mother, asked me to do them in the first place. Perhaps you could take me back to Drakengard with you. I've been looking at the city for so long as a target, as a final solution for our efforts to expand, and I think I'd like to just tour it like a normal person."
I can do that. We may need to get you a change of clothes, as I fear you wouldn't be very welcome in your current state, but something easily addressable.
We can fix this. Thank you, Cass. He kind of sits back down, still kind of stunned by the announcement. You glance over, and the last thing you see of your sister and mother getting escorted back behind the statue, back to the dungeons from where they came. You see your sister turn to look back towards you, her eyes sunken and cold, just wild fury blazing in her eyes. She just locks eyes with you and just kind of stares at you with a hateful expression, straining to see you as she gets pulled back behind the curtain. Your mother is next.
Shake my head while she does that, I'm sorry, this is how it has to be.
Your mother, as she's pushed behind the curtain, she looks back in your direction and mouths a few words at you, her expression mostly calm. Make a perception check to infer the word she just said.
Not advantage. 16.
16.
Tens.
You saw her mouth move, and you inferred her to say, I had this earlier. She says to you from across the open space of the amphora, "He's not done with us yet." Smiles and goes through the back door.
He's not done with us yet. Oh no.
She leaves and is escorted to her prison to rot, along with your sister. As the event concludes and people wander off, everyone's staring at you. You're given a wide berth. People don't want to seem to associate with you, get within touching distance. Yumanar, however, is sort of clinging to you in the sense of you're the only person here who has any support for him, any way out. What do you do?
I will, make sure to grab him around the shoulder, and we'll head back to wherever we can. I'll ask a guard where I can use teleportation magic to return home.
He says, if you make some space in the square, we will allow this. They go and they clear a couple people out. There's a big patch of tile, a cobblestone that you can do it on.
All right, I'll start drawing.
All right, you draw another teleportation circle, and Yumanar watches kind of wide-eyed as the sigil glows, and you step through. He takes one last look around at the capital city of his home, his empire, what he's dedicated his life to, and then follows you through, heading to Drakengard. You arrive there. The guards see you, Kaz, and nod, and then stop and kind of stare at Yumanar, still wearing the Reznor garb with his Drow, very clearly, Reznorian vibe, top to bottom.
I'll he's with me, exiled as I once was, someone looking for a new life.
I see. Keep him in line, Casbiel. If we hear any reports of misbehavior, we'll have to take it up with the Drake Lord. He's your responsibility now.
I will make sure he, kind of glance at him, plays nice.
He nods slowly and says, "Thanks, Kaz." You go back to the airship. He's exhausted, and he says, "This is your ship." He hasn't seen it before.
Yeah. Well, it's not my ship solely. It's our ship. My group. We kind of all went in on this together, and we travel the world helping who we can.
All right. You get a long rest, and you sleep through the night on the airship with Umanar. The next morning, Umanar wants to go shopping, and you take him out to get him some replacement clothes. He buys some simple garb. He buys a new, a nicer set of weapons that he's familiar with, a long sword and a dagger and a backup hatchet, some other stuff, some simple equipment. And he stands there now. You're going to have to bankroll this. He needs about, I'll say, 150, 200 gold worth of equipment and clothes. Simple stuff, but he needs it to get started.
I'd like to see if we could find those same sending stones that Ova and Demiria have, if we could have something like that even made, or if they have them.
Sure.
Seems like that might be a common thing, but unclear. Just in case he ever needs to get a hold of me.
Make a investigation check for me.
Investigation is 7. Oh, sad. 15.
15. Sadly...
like crap on Foundry.
Yeah, those are kind of niche. They're not terribly hard to make, but they're definitely not common. Like, they're... You'd have to request that specifically crafted for you. You could do that. It would cost, a good amount of money and probably 3 weeks of time, but you could do it.
Yeah. I don't imagine he wants to wait around for 3 weeks.
He says, "No, I'm familiar with some of the guilds of the broader world. I'm probably going to go and seek out." That's all I want. Darn music. Give me what I want.
How much gold was it to outfit Umanar?
We'll say 175.
175. All right.
For nice stuff.
I'll give him 25 gold just so that he has some time, so he has something to while he leaves. I'm sure he'll need food and lodging and whatever.
Right. He thanks you and goes to the Drake, the Drunken Drake Tavern where you've stayed before, per your recommendation, and he will stay there. He's going to start seeking out gainful employment through the use of his honed skills as a soldier, perhaps from the Monster Hunting Guild, the League of Blue Steel, or elsewhere. But he's going to begin to try and find his way, and he'll find you again. He promises he'll be back here. He'll keep an eye out for your airship, and be sure to say hello if he sees you in town again. But for now, he grabs you by the forearm and shakes your hand and says, "Thank you, Casbiel, for your insight, your mercy, and your integrity. These are things that are hard to find these days, and growing up in the environment we did, I'm surprised we managed to come out of it with a small dose of either."
In the Reznor, I know we're not very we're not seen very highly being male, but being older, you were always good to me, and I could tell that you were a good person and not cruel for the sake of it. You've earned every little bit of mercy, as you call it, that you've gotten, and I hope that you can prosper. If you need anything, you know how to find me. Sending, airship, truck, and grud. I'll be around.
Glad to hear it. Take care, brother.
As should you.
He walks off into the crowded city streets. You are resolved of the trial of your mother. You feel a sense of relief that it's finally been locked in after all this time. And you are free to once again do as you wish.
Well, I imagine that at some point today I have to get over to the CCC and get sent off to the Tropics of Aramanga.
Yeah, that's actually tomorrow. But you can you have the rest of the day to
Oh, it's 2 days. That's right.
to do just chill and get caught up on current events. You at this point you hear sending from Zephyr's like, "Hey, we need some teleportation again." And then Sir,
Right.
you hear you like, "Oh yeah, I have to pick up Sir today." You spend the day teleporting around again, helping people out. You come back, get a nice full meal, and go to sleep for the next day.
Wonderful. Yeah, help some people out with my taxi service self.
Yep. Okay. So the morning of, you wake up and are ready to go to the tropics, seeking
Yes.
a way to follow in the footsteps of your father and try to find him.
Yes. Thinking about the Tropics of Aramanga, what type of danger do I think that I'll find? I'm thinking about what I need to change my fiendish resilience to. It's warm there, but it's not like hot.
Well, it is basically peak summer. So if there is ever a time it would be hot, it's right now. Imagine 100% humidity, 80 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit most days.
Okay, so then it would be smart to choose heat resistance or fire resistance so that I am not dealing too badly with that.
True. That could help with the just sweltering, overwhelming, wet heat.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll add for my fiendish resilience.
Okay. Switch to fire resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You gather up your things. You arrive at the CCC, and they escort all of you to a spot in the back of the yard. You see there are maybe a dozen or so other folks here. They all look like they're not happy to be here. You're the only one who's like, okay, new adventure.
Right.
They all
I'm
look
also
pretty miserable.
decked out.
Right,
and
with
they're
all your
in,
beautiful dragon scale mail armor, and these people are all wearing like rusted plate mail and leathers and
Oh man.
chipped daggers, and they look already pretty beat up. You can see the armor they have has been used several times by several people. Some have large, strange holes in them and melted partially.
Oh god.
It's a motley crew, and they gather you all up, and they have a wizard from Drakengard comes over and says, "All right, you all are being sent to Parhua in the Tropics of Arabangan. That's the outpost for the CCC. You'll receive further instructions there. Please step into the circle. This will be over quickly." And he draws a teleportation sigil sequence. If you want to try and commit this to memory, make a history check.
We'll definitely try to do that. 15. Very strange.
15. Good enough. You study it quickly. You're the last one in as you're like, okay, and then you do the circle, and then it connects to the whatever. So you can add to your list of sites you can go to Parhua and the Tropics of Arabangan, which is a CCC outpost.
CCC outpost. Tropics of Arabangan. Pretend I know how to spell that.
All right.
Beautiful.
And just like that, the whoosh of light, and you feel at first the blast of hot, humid air that rushes onto your face as you step out onto the other side. You're standing in a small wooden palisade-surrounded outpost. There are several towers that kind of wooden towers that loom up and look around the surrounding jungle. You're on a bit of a hill, kind of looking down towards the jungle in every direction. You're here. You're in the thick of it. You're in the tropics. There's flies buzzing everywhere. You see birds flapping through the open air. You see a large, colorful parrot land on the edge of the railing and squawk at you. All your people around you kind of look around in confusion. And marching up to all of you, you see a sort of a stiff, tabaxi man with well combed back, overcut hair, and he's holding a long stick and says, "Welcome to your new adventure, recruits. This is the start of a very profitable avenue for you, and an especially profitable opportunity for the CCC. Thanks to your all's indiscretion and use of loans and funds, you will now be diving deep into the tropics to earn your keep and rid yourselves of this debt. Congratulations." He says, "You lot, you're getting assigned to these tents, A through 12. Points over. You can see some structures that are set up, some rough tents. He says, "Inside you'll find equipment, food, supplies, and existing maps of locations for scavenging. Good luck, and report back here in 3 hours. We'll talk about details then if you have questions. People...
I want to ask him, after everybody moves, if he knows of Laurence.
You walk up to him and talk to him, and he says, who are you?
My name is Kaz. I'm here on a different contract than the rest of the folks. As you can see, I'm not needing outfitting very much. I came here of my own accord. I'm looking for a Laurence Ravillon. Do you know which way you...
I see a lot of different names come through here. That's not really my forte. I'm not sure what you're asking for.
I'm looking for somebody who was committed to this indentured exploring.
No, what I'm
Where
saying
do you
is...
send most people?
What I'm saying is, I'm not sure I know what you're asking for.
I see. I will put 5 gold in his hand.
Takes it. He's like, he looks you up and down. He's like, you could do better than that.
I don't need to ask you that. I'll take the 5 gold out of his hand.
He grabs his hand quick if you try to take it back. He says, he pulls it back. He's like, fine, Mr. Grubby Hands over here. Yeah, it's kind of scruffy fellow, black hair like you, blue eyes like you, and he like stops, like looks you up and down. He's like, you know this guy? Is he your brother, your friend, or something?
He's a friend of mine. Yeah. That's why I'm looking for him.
Anyway,
trying to help him out.
He went out a couple months ago with a small group, pod as we call them. They headed. Let me check. And he like runs off. You follow him to his tent, and he has this big ledger of books and like rough maps of the area and all kinds of complicated check marks. He says they went roughly where they're supposed to go on the Northwest Trail, probably about 2 weeks. 2 weeks on foot in that direction. But at this point, he rubs his chin. He's like, they're probably about here. And he like circles an area on the map. It's a pretty wide swath of the jungle, and it's about quite a few miles away. You would estimate about like... I'll just draw on the map so you can see it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, where is it in reference to Parhua or Ilahuatul?
It's about here.
Okay. That's not too bad. I mean, if anybody's going that way, I can accompany some adventurers.
Well, that's the thing. No one's going that way anytime soon.
I see.
It's sort of like they go out for 4 to 6 months at a time. They're out there delving ruins, surviving, getting stuff, and then when they have enough, they're allowed to come back.
I see. Well, can you point me to the trail that people take to get there?
Yeah, the Northwest Trail eventually just kind of stops, and you have to rough it, but maybe you can pick up their trail that way. Let's see. It's about, I would guess they're about 220 miles that direction.
220 miles. Jesus, that's a long way. I don't suppose you guys have horses or any kind of...
Horses?
Magics.
We had all those months ago.
Oh boy. Okay. How the hell am I gonna get 220 miles? I have no idea. I mean, I can fly for 10 minutes at a time and...
So what's your fly dash speed? 620?
Yeah, it's 60 feet per round, so 120.
10. So that's that many feet in a minute times, let's see, 1 minute times 60. Well, I guess that's only for a minute. Or is it for an hour?
It's for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so 10.
Yeah.
So that many feet. It's 2.5 miles, but yeah, that's gonna be slow going. That's 100. Yeah. That's 100 castings of fly to fly that distance.
Jesus Christ. Well, shit. I
Make
don't know what to do. Insight. That's +1.
15.
What's with the 15s?
I don't know. You study the map. You see there is a river that flows most of the way in that direction.
I see that.
You
Yeah.
get the sense that it's possible you could sail the river deeper, and it might be faster than trying to like walk it or fly it. Fly it's probably the most direct route. As you're reflecting on all this, you think about what you have at your disposal. You can cast fly. You can take a short rest. It'll take you quite a while. How many castings of fly can you do?
3 per short rest.
So that's 3, and take a short rest. 10. If you do that 3
Like the whole
times in a
day.
row, that's 10 out of the 100. So I don't know. I would say you do that all day long at top speed, not really doing anything besides short resting and flying. You could probably get there in about like 4 days. Let me do the math on that. So we
That's
have
exhausting. Holy shit.
yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's just magic that comes from nowhere. It's not from you; it's from somewhere
True.
else. You just gotta wait for it to
Right.
recharge. Let's see. We're at. Let me do the math. So 2.5 miles for one fly, times 3, so it's 7.5 miles per short rest. You can do short rest is like half an hour to an hour. In a
Right.
8-hour day. That's like 8 to we'll say 12 of those. So that's 90 miles a day. Yeah, 220 divided by 90. That's about 2.5 days if you were to just do nothing but fly and short rest.
All right. I mean, I don't see the boat might be a little bit easier, but much slower, right? Depending on the
Potentially.
river current. Um,
Also,
well, I will fly. Oh,
lastly, just the
Uh-huh.
DM speaking because you rolled a 15. I want to make sure you're aware of all your options. You still feel that gentle glimmer of the blessing of the horse god, a sort of Deus Ex Machina of fast transport via magical horse.
I forgot about that in the unicorns that we fed or that Sir fed, and we all got a blessing. Um, that might be worth it because a unicorn can like fly and is hella fast. I think I might try to use that actually because that's the best option. That'll get me there by the end of the day, I think.
Yeah, they don't have to short rest.
Yeah. All right, I will. I guess it's call on that.
Are you doing this in the middle of
Favor.
the encampment, or are you going somewhere?
I will. I will use a charge and fly as far as I can
Okay.
to get towards the river or whatever.
So as the peons are like sharpening their daggers and like looking sadly up at the rain that's beginning to come down, you just walk to the middle of camp and just Superman just fly off into the jungle, and they're like, man, you fly off and land by the river, a mile away or whatever. What do you? What you call forth this favor?
Yes, I'm gonna try to look at the wildlife and appreciate it and ask nature itself for assistance.
All right. You ask this. You feel a warmth kind of rise within you, and suddenly the river, the murky river, begins to like churn and splash as the water begins to like thrash around. All of a sudden,
Shit.
bursting forth from the river into like a big torrent and landing next to you, a horse emerges, the shape of a horse anyway, but made entirely out of churning, frothing water. As it steps up to you, you can see the mane is just like constantly like pouring off of its neck like a waterfall and frothing up and splashing into the air. Its eyes are glowing specks, and it kind of neighs at you for a moment.
Beautiful. I'm going to cast tongues on myself so that I can communicate with it because I don't think it speaks celestial or abyssal.
It opens its mouth, and you hear celestial emanate from within it.
Oh, I don't have to do that then.
no.
I speak celestial.
It says, "Welcome, Casbiel. It is I. You may call me Torrent. Seems appropriate.
Torrent. Clever.
It's also, Elden Ring. That's what the horse is called. But I think this is more appropriate, so I'm not going to be mad
Nice.
about it. It says, what need do you have? I will serve your purpose."
I need to get to very far away as quickly as possible.
Very well. Point me the direction. We shall go.
And I'll like,
Let's climb upon my back so that we might fly.
and I do so.
Okay. You climb aboard this thing. It's weirdly solid. It looks like it's made out of more like glass than anything, but like churning, moving glass. You mount up on top of it and kind of wrap your hands around the wet, yet like solid mane that's frothing and churning under your hands, and it kicks off and begins to gallop straight through the air, just clapping onto the clacking of its hooves on nothing as it rises up above the treetops and just makes a straight beeline in the direction you pointed out. As you hold on, it begins to accelerate. You feel the G's kick in as it like puts its head down and just starts galloping harder and harder.
I duck, full tuck onto the horse.
It has a fly speed of 90 and it's dashing to 180, so we can go 180 indefinitely.
Holy shit!
Feet. Let's see, divided by 6. So that's 6. That's 30 feet per second.
50% faster than I could go.
That is 21 miles per hour, which is not that
10
fast.
hours
all things
to get
considered.
200 miles.
Yeah. Basically,
How fast did a regular horse run? 55. Okay, interesting.
oh, that's dumb. Yeah, we're gonna do that instead. We're gonna do 55. That's I'm ignoring D&D math because it's silly.
Okay.
55. Yeah, so 4 hours. All right. So what
Much
would have
better.
taken you? What would have taken you potentially, 10 days on foot, as you bushwhack your way through the jungle, or maybe 3 days exhausting yourself to fly in bursts. Now takes 4 hours as you gallop across the endless sea of trees that is the tropics. Here, the rain pelts your face. It's almost like hail, how hard it hits your face because you're moving so fast, and you just keep wincing and kind of trying to keep your eyes closed. But you blast across the open space, heading in the direction of where you were told to go. Make a history
Can I see
check.
God's Gate from here?
I'll get to that. Make a history
Okay.
check for me as you attempt to navigate to the spot on the map.
Oof, 10.
10.
Wait, yeah. Ouch.
You had the general idea. It was a pretty big area that he highlighted. So like you think you kind of follow the river as your guide, and eventually the river kind of peters out and ends, and you know that like, okay, I'm getting close. You're probably within 50 miles or so of the likely location where they are, but you don't have a solid handle on where.
Right.
As you get to this point, you kind of like slow down and try to take in your surroundings. You're now just saddled, standing in midair, motionless as the horse waits for your input. You glance up, and you do see rising above the steam and the trees in the very far distant edge of the horizon, barely visible, this gargantuan mountain that's sort of barely visible, smoke trailing off the top. And you see, for the first time, you in person, see, you can barely make out the head of a Trexelon, nestled around the crater of the volcano, eyes closed, sleeping. You see no movement. For all it seems to be from here, it might as well just be like a rock formation, like a massive rock formation. But
A massive purple rock formation.
the pink hue and the way it catches the light from all this great distance, you can only imagine the actual enormity of it in person.
Insanity. Kaz is just kind of in awe of this giant, living creature that is so massive from so far away. Truly terrifying.
Well, bet.
But Kaz is going to start trying to scan the tree lines for paths that they may have followed, try to follow what trail it might exist. Any kind of camp smoke or anything like that.
Investigation check for me.
Investigation is also a 7. 25, much better.
25. Yeah, you begin to do a grid search up and down through this area. Go up 50 miles or 25 miles and come back. It takes you a couple more hours as you begin this, but eventually you do see an opening in the trees, and you kind of coast down. There is a camp that's there, but it's very old. It's clearly abandoned. They've chopped down some trees. There's a temporary structure, but it's just all collapsed and overgrown. You dismount for a moment and inspect it. It looks like it's probably maybe 3 weeks abandoned. And you can see there are a couple like different trails that have been cut through the brush in different directions from here.
I will have to probably follow. Does it look like the trails were like a single person went down them, or like is there one where like everybody went down one, but the other ones are just like, oh, that's beautiful.
That's the jungle that you're in right now.
Some dense forest.
Yeah. Make a insight check to try and infer, or a history check, whichever you prefer, to figure out which one is the most likely path they took forward. Now you're rolling well.
26.
Damn, 26.
On a history, yeah.
You inspect them all, and you get the sense that one of them in particular is like a lot smaller, but looks more recent than the other ones, which are like well worn and traveled. You got the sense this was a previous camp. They used to go exploring from here, and then they decided to leave. And you follow that trail, getting back on the horse and riding low across the treetops. You follow it for another 15 miles or so. In the distance, you see a plume of smoke rising up out of the trees that seems to be at odds with the natural area around here.
It's got to be a campfire. I'm gonna hightail it there.
Okay. You come galloping into view, and you see ahead of you another clearing, just like the one you were at before. It's been cleared of trees. You see three tents in the center of it, and a campfire that's currently burning and letting off a lot of smoke. It's a lot of smoke because the rain is constantly coming down and putting it out a little bit. You see three figures that are crouched around the fire that are like looking up towards this galloping water horse that's now doing like circles around the outskirts of their perimeter. They freak out. You see them like dive for their tents and come pulling out bows and arrows and spears and stuff.
And I'll call down to them. I mean you no harm. I'm looking for someone.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion is +9. 24.
24. Yeah. There's some confusion down below, but one of them shouts back up, "Who are you?"
I'll try to slowly like come in and land, you know, again, not making like fast movements or trying to be, not looking like I'm hostile or anything. Come in and much like quieter as not to be so loud in a very obviously dangerous place. My name is Casbiel. I'm looking for Laurence.
Okay. Last persuasion check.
Oh boy.
16.
16.
You say all that, and as you sit there now on your horse in this clearing, the three figures kind of resolve as you're now close enough to see them. You see a hunched turtle man sitting in a wheelchair of sorts. It has like these kind of large, like spiked tread wheels that are clearly designed for all-terrain mobility, and he's wearing plate armor. He has a big lance in one hand. He's kind of like squinting at you. You glance over, you say that, and you see on the left a gnome with a pink mohawk and a scar in his face. More scars than you remember from the last time you saw him. He's just squinting at you, and he's like, "Kaz?"
Oh, you're
Voros.
Voros. Oh, hey, good to see that you're doing all right.
He like pulls his dagger back out. He's like, "You." I am not doing all right. I'm only here because of you. Oh God.
Well,
I have
you're
so
here
many
because you
regrets.
signed a contract.
That's not. Besides the point. You turn to look and see the third one. The man, who you recognize from the photo, Laurence Ravillon. This tall, kind of broad-shouldered, maybe mid-50s, late 40s guy. He has a big, thick mane of blackish hair and a thick beard as well. It's kind of overgrown and unkempt, with a few streaks of white throughout that show his age. His eyes are a vibrant aqua blue that stare out at you, and as his meet yours, he just kind of stares at you and says, "Who are you?"
Well, as I said before, my name is
Casbiel. Who are you? Where are you from? Why are you here?
Well, if you'd let me finish, my name is Casbiel de Taurus.
You say that,
recognize
and
that
like
name.
his eyes are like, "I see the resemblance. How's your mother doing?
Um, well, as of recent, she's not doing too well. But nothing she didn't deserve. She's in jail in the Resnor Dominion for plotting to. Anyway, that's not important.
This is Laurence.
Damn, Geralt looking ass.
Yeah, he's a smoker. Anyway, the you say all that, and he's like, jail, okay. Didn't know that was something that she was doing these days. Haven't heard from her in a while. Well, are you a drow?
A half drow. Trying to like. Laurence,
at this point,
I think I'm your son.
The turtle and the Voros are like looking back and forth between the two of you, like ping pong as you both say things, confused expressions. What do you say?
Laurence, I think you're my father.
Oh god, make a persuasion check with advantage. The resemblance is uncanny.
2d20, keep highest, +9. 23.
23. You see him like squint a little bit, rapidly, his eyes flickering up and down, your face, your hair, your jawline, all that, taking it all in, and he's like, huh. And then he passes out and falls over. The turtle says like, he's like, ah, shit, Larry, not again. He like rolls over to Laurence and like pours some water on his face. Laurence sits back up, sputtering. He says, "Oh, I'm fine. Sorry. Kaz,
Does
right?
This happen often? Are you okay?"
Voros says, "No. He's just in moments of tension. He tends to get a little lightheaded. He's not terribly good at this whole adventuring thing."
I see.
Larry, you're fine. Kaz, well, I can't say I'm happy to see you again, Kaz, because also, you know, I might have not been here had it not been for you guys and your friends, but, so you're his son? What the hell?
Yeah, so it took me a little bit of sleuthing to figure out who and where and when, but imagine a festival of growth, warmth, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Larry like waves his hand. He's like, yeah, okay. I think you're right. I'm not blind. I can think. I haven't heard from the Duchess in a while, and I'm surprised to meet you. I was unaware that you exist.
Yeah, the drow are quite secluded.
Right. That was a unique evening.
Spare me the details, please.
I will.
I see you need some help.
Yeah. Well, welcome to my abode. And he like gestures to the tent. You are here in this encampment. Give me a second.
How'd you get here?
Well, that's a story. So he says, let's sit and let's talk about this.
Yeah, I'll like pull out some rations and share with everybody. I'm sure I have traveling food.
You hear a voice in Celestial speak to you from over your shoulder. It says, our journey is complete. May your path be swift and your oats enriched. And you watch.
I'll like walk over and like pat him on the nose and say, "Thank you. Your service was excellent."
It neighs once, gallops up into the sky, and then you'd see it just kind of transform into like an arc of water. This arcs off in the distance and then splashes down out of sight. Gone.
Fancy.
Your gift has been used. It's no longer available.
That was extremely helpful of a gift.
All because of cube food summoned from the cube muffins.
That was a gift directly from Sir to me. I'll see it as.
All right, so you are in this encampment with Voros. The turtle man introduces himself as Sir Parlad. He is a a nobleman of the
Oh.
southeastern tropics, and he also got in unfavorably with the CCC and was brought on board. Everyone shares their experience and where they came from and why they're here. Basically, your dad made some investments that were unsound and rapidly lost a lot of money on those. He talked about he thought it would be a great idea to invest in these. The art scene in Crystalia is pretty vibrant, and he thought that if he could make a deal with this guy who had a really good idea in this bar he was chatting with about trying to make it such that you could label the art and then own the label itself, and you could prove that you were the defined owner by having this paperwork that showed that it was really yours, this magical paperwork that you can't modify. A certificate, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was going to be the next big thing, and I really invested heavily in that. But that guy that I was working with, he just stopped showing up, and I don't know what happened to that investment. So anyway,
oh man,
that was a poor investment.
That sounds awful.
And long story short, he felt too ashamed to try to come to his brother with the massive losses, so he took out the loan, covered his tracks, but that also started accruing interest. He knew he had to pay it all off. So he reported to the CCC and committed to this adventure. He's been out here for a couple months, and he said so far we've collected about 40% of what we owe back. All of us, we split everything 3 ways.
Oh wow. So that's how much did you get in debt? How badly are you in?
Well, I'm currently, after the 40% we've already gotten, I need another about 15k. And then
Wow.
my buddies here are about the same. They're about 15k left as well.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any leads? I'd like to stay and hang out and chat and maybe help out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super grateful that you'd be willing to do that. We've been tracking these snake people. They're nasty a lot. These Yuan-Ti, they call themselves. They're nasty little buggers, but they like to congregate around these ruins that are maybe about a half mile from here. We've been holing up here, preparing for an attempt on the location. The ruins seem to be some kind of not a holy site, but they treat it kind of like it's important. They're always going in there, in and out, and we see them there's some nice stuff over there. They've got some golden sconces and torches and stuff. So there's clearly some wealth to be had there, but we haven't quite figured out how to get it off of them.
So these Yuan-Ti, aren't they just a civilization? You can't steal from you're supposed to be delving ruins, not pilfering cities,
That's
right?
the thing is they're not really that civilized. I think that their civilization is based on the ruins that we're here to pilfer. The Yuan-Ti have attacked us a bunch already, unprompted, might I add, and we've just been trying to survive out here. They've stolen, of the 40% that we've gotten, they've stolen back about 15% of that. So we've just been doing our best to stay away from them. So we thought maybe we could get ahead of it this time.
Well, I don't condone this, but if they're problematic, I can't argue against it.
And my point being, it's not their stuff either. They found it recently, or maybe a couple years ago or whatever. These ruins are definitely not theirs. These ruins are really old. They just took up residence there recently because they liked it.
Yeah, but don't you think we could try to find some not inhabited ruins?
Well, that's the thing, see, is 9 times out of 10, they are inhabited, and it's usually something nasty. So, we've tried, and this is our best lead. We're getting a little tired of sweating out here, if you know what I mean. This is Voro speaking.
I get it. Well, maybe I could take a look around and see if I could find anything that's uninhabited.
Sure. You're welcome to look around. It's kind of dangerous, though. That horse, that crazy horse, where'd you get that?
Yeah, that was a favor from an entity. Not really at liberty to say because was kind of a gift. And long story, um, but I can't do that again. Um,
Oh, that's a bummer.
I can try to take a look around. Um, do you guys have any leads on which direction or the ruins are in? Um,
Uh,
Generally speaking, or are they just all around?
yeah, the ruins we're gonna try and check out. They're about a half mile northeast of here. It's a kind of stepped pyramid. It's pretty obvious, kind of hard to miss. We've been staking it out for a little while. Um, we've
Okay.
looked around in every direction in this area. We haven't found anything besides this, but you're welcome to take a look as well.
Sure, sure. Let me do that, and I'm gonna cast fly on myself again
All right.
and shoot straight up and try to find like, ruin type because I'm sure they're pretty big in terms of
Yeah.
looking through the canopies.
It's getting dark. It's after like sunset now, so it's a little harder to investigate. But you're welcome to make an investigation check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'll say as you fly around
I'll
in a
try.
perimeter. You hear them all kind of like
Investigation.
gasp again as you just take off.
Oof, 9.
9. Yeah, you fly around for the extent of the spell. You really don't see anything. The denseness of the trees and the darkness is pretty hard to keep up with.
Yeah, the dark makes it pretty hard. Okay, well, in that case, I guess we wait till morning, and unless we come across something, I guess it's your plan.
All right. Yeah, you go and retire. You're welcome to take a long rest. Or, well,
I mean, do we?
second. We hold that thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we want to keep like a watch?
Yeah, though they always do. They go in circles. Which watch do you want to take?
I'll take the first watch, I guess.
You do. You volunteer for that. And like, great. Voros and Parlad crawl into their tents and go to sleep. Your dad stays behind and says, "Well, Kaz, I'm happy to keep watch with you if you don't mind."
I mean, you can get some rest, but would be a good chance for us to chat.
I think that would be a good time. This would be a good time for that. Now that those two are heading to bed, you can tell he's pretty like feeling very awkward. He twiddles his thumbs a bit. He's like, "So, tell me about yourself and your life. What do you do? Anybody that you like? What are you into?"
Well, you see, I mean, I'm traveling with my group of friends. We're all met in Greymore, and I'm sure you might have heard about the Hollows and the Ox, and there was some risky business here and there. The giant dragon on God's Gate is even part of one of our misadventures. There's some big things happening in the world right now, and we're doing the best we can.
Old Trexie up there, pointing at the distant mountain. You can see the glow at night. Even it just kind of like
Yeah.
illuminates the horizon.
Yeah, that guy got out, and we're trying to figure out a way to put him back before he wakes up.
That
Sure, you
seems
could
like
see that
a
would be.
dangerous thing to try to do.
Yeah, we don't know how we're gonna do that. There was some corruption spreading in a forest in my friend's home, and we had to stop it. And in stopping it, we kind of set that thing loose. So we kind of need to figure out a way to get back.
So you're telling me you're directly responsible for this massive godlike being that's wrapped around that volcano?
Well, directly responsible. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I need to know a lot of things. He starts asking you lots of questions about like where you're from, who raised you, what was it like growing up, and you talk. You share, however much you're willing to share about your
Oh yeah,
life.
no, I'll share. I mean, I hardly know this guy, but like,
Sure.
I'll share what I'll answer his questions truthfully. And I'm also in the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
So we chat.
We share a lot with this guy. As the hours progress, after a while, you feel like you kind of told him everything that was like appropriate for a high level. And he says, "Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. Do you have any questions for me?"
Yeah, that's actually why I'm here. What? What are we? What am I?
Well,
See, I mean, in terms of the blue eyes and the power that we have, that I have a bit of power from another place, but this power feels different. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I do know what you mean. That's my boy. He says, so you're saying you got some of the old family gift, huh?
So it's a family thing. You have it as well?
No. None of my brothers are I do. Grandpa did though.
Oh. Oh,
It's sort of
so
a
it must
heredity
skip a
thing.
generation?
It's a heredity thing. It's well, the story goes anyway. The our family is blessed, watched over by sort of ancestral protector, an angel of Arathis, the god of civilization.
Oh.
We have a bit of a reverence for this individual angel. Her name is Serendella. She is
very interesting.
The history of sort of lore goes several generations back. The Ravillons were dying of thirst in the desert, the Crystal Desert, and they were seeking respite, and they stumbled upon an oasis, and there were met by this angel of Arathis, the god of civilization, and provided them with a drink, and gave them the courage to go on. And when they returned home, this is, I think, probably your great-great-great-grandmother. When she returned home, she made it through the desert, and later she got married and had a child, and this child had some of this gift of which you speak. It seems like a blessing, a good luck blessing, and abilities that are unique to a few of our ancestors. Not me, but you've got it. That's all the more evidence I need.
Well, I do. Is there anything else you can tell me about this Serendella or the angel of Arathis?
With the done chewing.
Yeah. So interesting.
Well, Arathis is, the god of cooperation, of civilization, of building things up and creating more than there was before. The onward march of progress. And as wealthy sort of businessmen in Crystalia, we're the ones who really benefit from the grace of Arathis. And Serendella, as an avatar for the god herself, was a unique and specific interaction that our family had many generations ago, and we've just sort of always been additionally reverent of that particular angel and the blessing she gave our family. Serendella is sort of a guardian angel, if you will, a protector of our people and our family, and has been over the years. So it doesn't surprise me that you'd have some of that innate ability that comes from it. Do you ever feel compelled, like you have to take care of people, do the right thing?
See, yes, I feel that that's my calling, my what I want to, who I want to be. I just don't know how.
It's it is a gift, a blessing, but it's also a curse sometimes if you don't know how to read a situation properly. With me at this whole art certificate thing, I was doing it thinking I could contribute to my family and make something better for myself. I was always the least successful of our brothers, and I thought if I could really prove myself, they would respect me more, and I could really help them out. Do something right. But wouldn't you know it, I flubbed it up, and that wasn't the right answer. It wasn't the right call, and here I am, atoning for my mistakes.
But we're all mortals. We all make mistakes, and sometimes it's not as good of a call as you think it is.
It's a good intention, but if you don't do it right, it can really put you in a bad spot.
I'll say.
Well,
Speaking of bad intentions, I guess I wanted to say thank you for telling me about this. I'm still trying to figure out who I am with this whole Atrexelon business, with these powers that I've gotten from somewhere I probably shouldn't have, and the powers that I got where I should have.
I see. Well, you don't know me. I don't really know you too well, besides our conversation tonight. So, all I can say is, I know you got the right stuff. You'll figure it out, and I know that regardless of what you do, it'll be for the right reasons, and that's what I would want for a son of mine, if I had one, which I guess I do. But yeah.
Well, one of us should probably get some rest. I can take the first watch if you want to
Sure,
turn
no
in
problem.
for the night.
Good talking to you, Kaz. Stands up awkwardly. And kind of like you see his hand fidget a bit, like he's gonna go for a handshake. Then he's like, "Nah, okay." And he turns and he goes to bed, trusting you to keep watch. So you sit
Very
there
good.
on watch. Make a perception check for me.
Perception is +6. Oh, man. There you go. 14.
14.
Man, rolling kind of bad most of the time.
Yeah. Except when it's 15, it's pretty good. You chill and take in the surroundings. You hear the forest noises at night all around you. It's actually pretty calming. But as you take this in with the 14, you fail to hear the approach of
Oh no.
things in the night.
Things in the
As
night.
you're sitting there kind of chilling, you suddenly hear, too late, the slithering, scintillating noises of a swarm of snakes approaching the camp. At this moment,
no.
they're mere feet away. You see them swarming past the barricades coming towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to. This should wake everybody up. I'm gonna cast Fireball.
I would say
Can I do that, or is it more of like a reaction?
so. There's tree line right there. If you were to shoot a fireball and try to get just the snakes, it might be kind of hard to do that without. I guess you can. We'll roll initiative first. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Let's see what you get.
This one. 13.
It's a 13. No, they get to go first.
Yeah.
So, as you bolt up and yell,
Shriek.
the snakes swarm on top of you and attack you. That's maybe a 22 to hit.
Oh no. Ooh, that hits.
You take 9 piercing damage. Make a con saving throw.
9 damage. Con save is, oh my god, 12.
12. That's enough, actually. You.
Oh really?
They're not that poisonous.
Okay.
You take half of 15 poison damage, so 7 poison damage on top of that.
7 poison. Oof, okay.
Okay, and then you hear slithering as swarming up from the other side. This other swarm of snakes comes from the underbrush and seems to be trying to get into the tent of Sir Parlot. I'm going to give them initiative rolls as well.
God.
Yeah. Stepping out from the trees, you don't quite notice because they are... you're distracted by the snakes that are swarming on top of you. This snake person, the body of like a human, like with like pale human skin, but it morphs into like a weird snake's head as it comes off the top of their trunk of their body.
Oh God!
Sneers at you from the darkness. You need to make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw. Okay. Better. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You hear a voice whisper out in like rough, raspy common that says to you, "Why don't you lie down?" And you, feeling the magical influence, shake it off, and you're like, "Hell no, I'm not lying down in this pile of snakes." And it snarls and comes charging in towards you. That's its turn. Let me get my combat going here.
It's a monster with a snake head, or a guy with a snake head. That's horrifying. I thought Yuan Ti were like actually just giant snakes. Although I guess that would be more terrifying.
I want a combat.
Oh God, what do I do?
Okay. That's it, your turn.
Okay, am I slowed or restrained by the snakes at all?
Nope. You're free to move. They're just biting at your ankles.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move there. And I am going to... Yeah, okay, I'm gonna... Did I get a short rest while hanging out with them?
Yeah, definitely.
Talking? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... Ooh. I'm gonna bonus action cast Tasha's Otherworldly Guise.
Okay.
And I'm going to start hacking at him.
Okay. Swap you out here.
Perfect.
You have your wings. Go ahead and make your attacks as Tasha's.
Oh, I just went black.
Oh, here, let me fix that for you.
Yeah, I think it took permission from the mini others.
There it is.
Perfect. All right, ambition attack 1. Does a 13 hit?
That will not hit.
No? Okay, we'll do another.
That's a crit.
Ooh, that's a
Oh, God.
20.
That's going to be...
But not a lot of damage.
No, you didn't crit the fire dice, so roll 5 more d6. 10d6 plus 2d8.
Slash roll 5d6.
So that's going to be 13 plus 17, which is 30, plus 21, which is 51. As your sword ignites fully and your wings fly out behind you, you swing at the Yuan Ti standing in front of you and slash it badly. Yeah, it takes all of that, so 51.
Nice.
Staggers back now, burned horribly, and slashed across the chest, and it hisses at you. Okay.
And then as my action, or my sentence, that was my bonus action, my action for 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I'm just going to be like, alarm, everybody! Snakes!
Wait, so, otherworldly form, does it let you do an attack when you transform?
It's a bonus action to transform.
Okay,
so
and
then I have my action still.
To attack twice when you attack.
Yeah.
Got it. Yep, sounds good. Okay, you shout out. The swarm of poisonous snakes is going to swarm into Parlot's tent and try to overwhelm him.
Oh, God.
Bites. 19. Parlod, even though he has a pretty high AC, he still gets hit. He's going to take all of that. That's going to be 15 plus 12, so 27. You start hearing him like shrieking from the tent as he gets back into his wheelchair. The other Bork.
Sorry. Hey. Good. No. Sorry about that.
All good. So this guy in the back is going to come out from behind a tree and...
Oh god, there's another one.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god.
As you hear
19?
hissing words come into your mind. A 19?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. As this like strange shimmering light begins to fill around you, you hear whispering behind you. You whip your head around and see this other snake man with like a cobra hooded head, kind of peering around a tree and hissing at you, but it doesn't work. And you push off his hypnotic pattern mind control spell.
Wow, these guys are brutal.
Okay. Parlod comes rolling out of his tent in his wheelchair. He grabs his lance and just starts stabbing at the snakes. He's gonna do 2 great axe attacks, but they're not great axes. It's a lance. But that's gonna be 14 piercing damage to these snakes.
Pretty good.
Stabbing, like he skewers quite a few. The snakes behind you are gonna start biting at you again.
I thought so.
That's gonna be 13. Yeah, misses. You're like floating off the ground now. They're like trying to bite up at you, but they're diving out of your range. Voros comes out of his tent, looks around, kind of shrieks, and then he pulls out a crossbow and is just gonna shoot at the one next to you twice. 5 and a 21 hitting, doing 3 piercing damage to the one in front of you. Good job, Voros.
Good job, Boros.
He's helping. Okay. Then we
I'm
have
an adventurer.
the one in front of you. He's gonna
Bite
make
me.
3 bite attacks.
Oh shit. Bite me less hard.
1, 2, 3. 8, 11, and 16. Does
8, 11, 16? No.
Tasha's
none of those hit.
bump your AC?
It does.
So what is it now? 21?
It's 21. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, it's 21 now.
Yeah. So they all miss as it like snaps at you. You duck and weave, and the magic fire around you kind of pushes it back. Larry comes out of his tent, looks around. He's going to pull out a greatsword like a rusty greatsword he's got on the ground, and go charging into the fray towards this guy.
Oh no.
He's going to make 2 greatsword attacks.
9 and 8.
Yeah, both of those miss.
Sword, huh?
He's like, he knows how to use it, but he's not that good. Like, he's really not. He swings at it, and this thing like ducks out of the way. He's too slow. Okay. The poisonous snakes are going to keep trying to eat Parlod. It's 22 for 12 plus 15, 27 again.
How's Parlod looking?
Looking rough. He's getting swarmed. Like he's like picking them off himself and chucking them away, but they're overwhelming him.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. The one in front of Larry is going to hiss at him. Multi-attack. You watch as it's like standing there hissing, and then its body like shivers and morphs into a giant snake. He just transforms into a giant snake in front of you. It makes 3 2 bite attacks against Larry. 16 and 12. Larry, who's got pretty heavy armor on, pulls his scimitar up and blocks both of them. His AC is 18.
Nice.
And
very good.
Parlod is then going to keep skewering snakes. Not great, but he does another 16 piercing damage. There's less snakes now. They're not able to do as much damage, but they're still trying to eat him.
Right.
The one's next to you, gonna try to bite you again. 22 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah, so you take 7 piercing damage, and then make a con save.
And a con save. Nice 25 on the
Are
con
you
save.
immune to poison? With Tasha's?
Oh, you're right. I think I am.
It's like fire and poison, or acid, maybe?
You're immune to fire and poison damage, yeah.
Then you ignore the poison from the bites.
Nice.
It's a good spell, man. It's a really good spell.
Yeah.
Voros is going to keep helping. He's going to shoot the snakes next to Parlad. He's going to charge over and attack twice with a short sword.
Wonderful.
1 hit, dealing 8 damage. He dispatches the remaining snakes that are on top of Parlad, saving Parlad from
Very good.
certain death. The one in front of you... He's going to reach up a hand, point it towards you, and mutter something under his breath. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saves all day. Ooh, 16?
16 is the DC. He casts Hold Person on you, and it fails. He roars angrily.
Bastard.
Okay. Larry, where are you in the initiative? Yeah, I think you're up next. You're up next, yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take a couple more attacks at this buddy here. We're going to go... Oops. Ambition. It's a 14 hit.
Yes, that is his AC.
Okay, nice. And so that's 27 damage.
27.
Is he
Still alive.
Okay, do another one. 13 misses.
13 misses.
Damn, okay.
You literally have to roll a 3, 2, or 1 to miss this guy. You're still rolling a 3.
Wow. Yeah, I've rolled a 4 and a 3. Oof. Okay, shit, I guess that's my turn.
Alright. Yeah,
2
you do your
attacks.
2 attacks.
What am I, a fighter?
Do you still have your bonus action? I think you do.
Yeah, but I don't have anything that I can
Yeah, that's fair.
use it with, yeah.
Okay, so that's your turn. You went. Larry's going to make another 2 greatsword attacks. 24 for 12 slashing to the now giant snake man in front of him.
Nice.
Gonna change him to a snake. It's only,
Yeah,
it's
an
only
actual-
right. Here we go.
You got the minis, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's the law.
There.
Nice.
Make him extra big. Okay.
Nice.
Then that thing is going to attack Larry again 2 times. A crit for
Oh no. Jesus.
16
28.
plus 27, so 43, I think, damage to Larry.
Oof.
You see Larry stagger back. He's like being wrapped up in the coils of this snake that's like biting on him, trying to kill him. He's looking rough, as is Parlad.
Oh god.
Parlad's not doing great either. Parlad shrieks and says, "Get off of Larry!" And he's gonna, you see the wheels like spin and kick up dirt, and he just goes charging across the open space with his lance lowered.
Badass.
He's gonna do a gore attack. 22 to hit. It hits, dealing 13 piercing to this thing.
Nice.
And then he's gonna do another attack after that for a crit for 28.
Crit, wow.
It's pretty damn good damage. 28 from
Parlad.
Parlad. Go Parlad.
What a badass.
Yeah, so he slams into this thing, knocks it off of Larry, and is like kind of defending him. They're both looking rough though. Okay. Poisonous snakes by you are going to give up trying to bite your ankles and going to go after Voros.
Is that an opportunity attack?
they
or
don't
no,
leave
not
your
far
area.
enough. Okay. Okay.
That hits Voros, dealing 26 to him. Starting to look a little hurt. You're up.
Okay. This needs to end quickly. 20 feet. Ooh. Would you say that Boros is within a 20-foot cube or 20-foot sphere?
No, he's 22 feet.
No.
Are you
Okay.
centering it on yourself?
I'm gonna center fireball on myself.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I'm gonna like hold my hands out in front of the Yuan-Ti and boom.
Boom.
I'm immune to fire damage, so
Yeah, doesn't hurt you. You just transform into you just like hold the fireball in your hand and just close your hand, and as it does, it erupts out around you, a sphere, blasting back the Yuan-Ti and the other
He needs
creature
a
nearby.
deck save. I guess both of them need
Yeah,
deck
but
saves.
Deonti had like 3 hit points. He dies instantly.
Oh.
Deck save from the snakes, 21.
21 saves, so he takes half of 33
So
damage. 17.
Okay, there's not too many snakes left, but they're still alive.
There's
Looking
still
hungry.
some left, jeez.
So you're floating above the ground here. Still your turn.
Yeah.
Is your action.
I kind of want to go over and help Harlod and Larry, but how badly is that? Oh, I couldn't even make it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I get between this pile of snakes and Voros?
You can fly up and over and try to land right in front of, like, right between them to distract them.
Perfect.
Sure.
Perfect, I'll do that.
Okay, Larry's up. Larry's gonna 2 great sword attacks. Actually, no, he's not gonna do that. He yells out. He's like, "Come on, gentlemen, we got this. They're on the ropes." He's doing his leadership ability. All of you now are blessed and can add a D4 to your next attack roll.
Nice.
That's his turn. The Snake Man is going to... He's going to attack Parlod first. Spectral Fang's attack. That's a 7. It misses. He's attacking again.
Nice.
17. That misses. Parlod has a high AC
nice.
as well. Like he ducks into his shell and it bounces off the top of his shell where his head was. Okay. And then
Parlod is unstoppable.
snakes are coming for you, Kaz.
Good. Let him.
12.
Nope.
Miss. Boros is gonna stab at him around your ankles. 2 short sword attacks. And misses both of them. Your turn.
Okay, I will take 2 attacks at the snakes. I guess depending on 21 hit.
Yeah. That much
Okay,
damage. Yeah.
30,
They're gone.
36. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna fly over. Wait. Let me. How far is it? I can go. Oh yeah, I can move 40 feet. So I'm gonna move here, and then can I take another attack at the snake?
Uh-huh.
All right. Ooh, 16 to hit.
I think that does hit. Yes. And then
Nice.
27
damage.
Yeah, it's gone.
Nice.
You dispatch the last
Kinda.
snake with a flourish. Yeah, tell me how you do it.
I just like flying forward. I run in and like without seamlessly, like with me moving and stopping, the sword just enters the snake and stabs it, and it goes limp.
As it falls to the ground, it reverts back to its like snake man body from the large snake that it was. As you stand there, your wings fluttering, the fireball still kind of smoking and embers on the ground. Parlod and your dad turn around and look at you, and they're like, "Oh." Your dad says, "Yep, that's what the family gift looks like, all right."
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Perception is +6. 15. Like 15s today.
High enough to sense it. You don't hear anything, but you feel the wind, like the pressure of the air seems to shift a bit. And you kind of feel something approaching from behind. You turn around and you see a very large, dark shape swooping in from above, from the distance, coming, skimming over the treetops, approaching your camp. You see flying in a bird, a very, very big bird.
Oh no!
Drawn by the flashes of light and your glowing fireball, as well as you flying now, emanating this bright light, you see it come swooping down, like gliding, approaching the bird of prey. Its large claws.
Thunderstep.
It looks at you, and you just see it like lock eyes with you. It's prey, the shiniest thing in the camp. You hear Parlod say, "Oh hell no!" and he like starts backing up in his wheelchair. We're still in initiative order. This thing gets to go.
What did it get?
A 2. That was your turn. Larry and Parlod just go running in opposite directions, fleeing for safety in the tree line.
God.
The rock,
Hiding and yeah.
however, it's gonna go. It's gonna come at you, straight at you, as you float there. That's gonna be a beak and a claw attack. 16 with the beak attack.
Nope.
28 with the claw attack.
Ooh, is that a It's not a crit. Okay, yeah, that hits.
You take 27 slashing damage. And
Okay.
you are grappled in its claws as it then takes up off into the air, holding you in its claws. This thing's gonna like swoop up and around in one of its claws, doing a big arc, trying to come back and catch the others. Boros is also gonna run into the tree line. Your turn.
Okay.
You are
How do
grabbed
I...
by this thing.
So... Oh, it's concentration. Shit.
Yeah, concentration check on your thingamajig.
Oh, yeah. That as well. I have advantage on that, so yeah, 26.
You're good.
Actually, that's one over what I needed because it was 20.
You needed 13.
No.
It was half the damage is
Yeah.
the DC.
That's right. Half the damage. That's right. I'm like looking at a bit ambitions thing. I'm just gonna take 2 attacks at its legs with ambition, I guess.
Okay.
Since,
Go ahead.
Is that with disadvantage or is that?
No. No
Okay.
advantage or disadvantage, just normal attacks. You're just grappled. It's like carrying it with you.
26 and 29.
Wow. Yeah, they both hit.
Nice. So that's 14 plus 13 is 23, or 27, plus 21 is 48.
Yeah, 48 total. Definitely does some damage. You hear it shriek, and even though you like badly slashed its ankle and it's like bleeding and you burnt some of its feathers, this is a big bird. It's got a lot of health.
Oh,
You definitely injured it, but it's still pissed off and able to keep attacking. It does drop you though. The amount of damage you dealt, it's like kicks you away. So you're now flying over the camp. I'll say you're both like 50 feet up, and you're adjacent to it, but it's flapping there. Like each beat of its wings like almost throws you off to the side from the wind pressure.
Jesus.
Okay, it's your turn. Your buddies, they're gonna start taking pot shots from down below, from the shelter of the tree line. We'll do 2 bolts per person.
Nice.
It's AC. The rock's AC is 15, so miss, hit,
1,
hit,
2,
hit. So 7, 10.
3.
So 19 piercing damage from your friends from down below, as they help out
Nice.
best they can. Okay, your turn again.
All right. Wait, really? I just went.
Oh yeah, sorry. They all did their thing. Now it's attacking you again.
Yeah.
Beak attack, 27.
Oof, that hits. Jesus Christ.
32 piercing damage.
Jeez, I'm super low.
I'm gonna do the talon attack.
Oh God.
28.
God, that hits. Oh God.
14 slashing damage.
14. Okay.
You are
I have
grappled in
12
its
hit
claw
points. God damn it. Okay.
Okay. Your turn.
You know? Let's do it again. I'm gonna cast Fireball centered on, my outstretched hand.
Make 2 concentration checks for me before you do that.
Oh yeah. A 24 on the first one, and a 26 on the second one.
More than enough.
All right.
So
It needs
just-
to make a dex save.
So as you hold a fireball in your hand, you just fly straight at its face and shove it in its right in its face. It's reaching towards you to bite you again. Dex save. That one plus 4, so 5.
Nice. All right. It takes the full amount of 10d6. 33. Wow. Again, 33.
33 fire damage. Yeah, it is hurt, but still flapping its wings. This thing has a lot of health. Okay, that was your action. What else do you do?
And my bonus action. Didn't think about that. Maybe I should have used my action to get away, but we are where we're at, and I guess that's my actions, bonus actions. No, everything that I have is an action. Okay, that's my turn.
All right. That is your turn.
Can't take that back, so.
Okay. The rest of them are gonna shoot their pot shots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit, miss, miss, hit, hit. So 8 plus 3, so 11 piercing damage from them. Doing what they can.
Yeah.
Let's see, 250. Okay. That was all it. Its turn.
Does it drop me again because of the fireball?
Yeah, it dropped you again. You're not grappled.
Okay.
Does that change anything you would do in your turn? You weren't grappled at that point.
If I could move, would it get an opportunity attack since I'm below it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to take the chance and try to fly down, like, as fast as possible.
Okay. I will give it disadvantage on its attack, as you did just throw a fireball straight in its face. As
Twice.
it's like, reeling back from that, trying to swipe at you as you flee. We'll do this disadvantage. So that's a 16 and a 27, so 16 misses, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So as you dive towards the ground, you fly straight down. You were 50 feet up. Now you're how close?
10 feet off the ground, because I can move 40 feet.
You can also you can just drop. Like stop flapping your wings and you'll fly. You'll fall basically. But
sure. Yeah.
So you're
I can do it in
standing
a
on the
controlled
ground.
manner.
Yeah, you're on the ground.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. That's.
All right.
It has to come get me, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. So as you're now here, it's like hovering in space, and it can't. It is a bird, not like a
A helicopter.
helicopter. So it's like has to flap. It soars off to get some momentum. Flies, way over here, coasts around, begins to do a big banking turn. It's coming around for a full dive again. Begins to come down into its dive. Talons outstretched, coming for a round 2. They shoot off another series of arrows at it again. No. One hit for 2 piercing damage. Okay, you're up as it comes flying towards you again. Claws outstretched.
Okay.
You're on the ground.
So when,
you can see that it's it can't penetrate the treetops. It's coming for you and only you because the others are hiding. I'll say Larry says, "Kaz, get out from the open!"
all right, I have an idea. I'm gonna extinguish Tasha's by casting invisibility on myself while I run towards the tree line.
All right, you do that. You turn invisible and sprint for the tree line. Make a stealth check with advantage.
Stealth check. So does the advantage negate the disadvantage I usually have?
Yeah, I'll just say it can't counteracts it. So straight stealth check. Rolling so bad.
Yeah.
As you run to the tree line, the bird, you can see it cock its head, and it's watching your kind of looking where you're going. You can see your footprints in the wet, muddy grass.
Not good eyesight.
As you sprint and dive into the tree cover, what's your movement speed?
30.
Yeah, you get right to the edge of it. It swoops down and careens over, trying to swipe at you. It gets one last attack at you with its beak, as you're now right at the edge of the tree cover. It has disadvantage because it can't see you, but it knows vaguely where you are. That's a 15.
No, thank God.
Pecks aggressively at the trunks of the tree, and its beak goes a solid foot deep into the trunk of the tree next to your face, and you jerk away.
Jesus Christ.
It stops flying. It's sitting now in the open clearing, kind of looking through the tree trunks, each caw it makes kind of reverberates through the trees, it echoes, and the shriek is very loud.
Oh God.
That's its turn. it can't attack with its claws because it's standing now. They'll all
Right.
take their pot shots.
Thunk, thunk, thunk.
Nice. One,
One,
2. So 14. Okay. Doesn't really seem to care about those too much. Kaz, your turn. You're invisible.
All right. I'm invisible. A rock is just a, like, beast, right?
Just a big old monstrosity.
Let's fire off some Eldritch Blasts at it,
All right.
I guess.
Does that break invisibility?
Yes, it does. I would like to get like a little bit farther into the tree line if I can. Like
Yeah,
maybe
you can move further back.
here, as long as I can still see. Just so I'm like more covered by the trees, so it can't really attack me.
No problem.
And then, where is Eldritch Blast? 1, 2, 3. Nice. 28, 26, and 28.
They all hit for
25 plus 5.
30.
30 force damage.
And with that, you take it over the half health mark, which is what I was waiting for it to be scared off from its quarry.
Wow.
As you hit it in
That
the
was
face
only
3
half
times.
its health?
Yeah, that was only half its health. It has roughly 250 health.
Jesus Christ.
It like shrieks and steps back and sputters and flaps its wings and takes off and flies off into the night, leaving behind the encampment.
Jesus Christ. I will make my way back towards the fire and like call out to everybody like it's gone for now.
Takes a while, but eventually they come out of the woodwork.
Oh, I imagine it like stomped our fire out, so I'll go ahead and expend a charge on ambition and create bonfire.
Sure. Yeah, you reignite it with blue fire. The rest of them come crawling out of the woods, and they're like, "Whoa, I've never seen one of those before."
That's a really big bird. I think I've seen something similar, but that was very large.
They grow them real big here.
I'll say.
Well, you really held your own out there, Kaz. Damn. Don't you know how to run away?
I didn't really hold my own. I'm kind of badly hurt, and I'll like drink one of my healing potions.
All right.
Probably the greater for 44 plus 4.
Larry comes up and he says, "Well, Kaz, I'm really impressed."
Or wait, no, we're gonna short rest. What am I doing?
Undo the healing potion.
Yeah, undo.
He says, "I'm really impressed with all that fire stuff, and the flying, and you just took all those hits and you just keep going. And wow, you're really good at this. Are you like a professional adventurer? I guess. I mean, you are. You told me you were."
I mean, yeah, yes. But
Hey, if you
I
help
have
us
a lot
out,
to learn still.
if you help us out tomorrow, this will be a cakewalk. Those snake guys didn't have a chance.
Well, the 2 of them and 3 really got us by surprise. Parlad, you doing okay?
He
What do you need?
he says,
healing? You guys.
one advantage of my condition is don't really feel much below the legs. And he like points at his little turtle legs, and they're like covered and like swollen up from all the snake bites. But he's like, I don't feel a thing.
Oh, the amount of like poison that is in his blood right now must be like insane.
I'm a turtle man. I'm from this part of the neck of the woods. We're used to these kind of things.
I'll come over and like. I guess I can only do healing hands once per long rest, but I'll offer a healing potion to Parlad, and I'll use healing hands on my dad, and
All right.
heal them up.
Parlad takes it thankfully and drinks it quickly. You heal your father a bit. He says, "Oh, thank you. That really does help. That you're a real caster, huh? That's something else. I just have this thing."
No.
And holds his great sword.
It's a pretty big sword. How's a guy like you use a sword that big? This isn't that big.
Well, I just it's just the natural gift. Kind of strong. You don't look terribly strong yourself, but coming from the elven side, I'm not surprised by that. That's all right, you know. Just work to your strengths.
Yeah, not exactly not exactly a caster, but a half caster. You could call
Sure,
me.
sure. That's one cool sword you got there.
Yeah, it was a gift.
Is it is it looking at me? You look down. The eye on the hilt of
Oh
the sword.
yeah.
It's like currently just like glaring at your dad, and then like blinks once, and then closes and goes away.
Oh yeah, and I'll like put it away. That's right. It does that. It I haven't figured that part out yet.
That's pretty strange. Well, I hope you do figure it out. That'll be cool when you take care of it. Anyway, I'm exhausted. That sneak attack was pretty dirty. Let's go to sleep. I need to heal up. But let's take the fight to them tomorrow. I'm tired of waiting around. I want to get out of here.
Yeah, we should wake up a little early, maybe make a game plan.
Certainly. Well, you did a good job on first rest or first watch. You go get your sleep. We'll take over from here.
Gotcha. Voros, I don't imagine you got too hurt. You seem to be able to duck out of the way of that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll do it. Here, take my tent. And he takes the seat by the
Thanks.
fire, and you crawl into the small, smelly tent, lay down, and promptly feel like you need to fall asleep.
I will pass out.
It did roll poorly enough to let you actually survive that. That was getting close. It was real dicey.
Those were some pretty big hits back to back that
Oh, yeah.
brought me from like full health to like 25 health pretty quick. I was like, ah.
All right, you get your long rest. As do they.
I think is the heat isn't too. It would it be bad enough that I need to be making checks if I didn't have my fire resist?
You you get the sense that like a little bit yeah, the fire resist was nice, and then it prevented you from your entire today having to be worried about that humidity and the heat. It is very uncomfortable, especially with the metal armor you're wearing. If you're in it for like an extended period without fire resistance, I'd say like at least 8 hours or so, then you'll really
Right.
start to make some con saves to be able to like not gain small points of exhaustion.
Gotcha.
But it's like several
Okay.
rolls down the line that would be the case.
Gotcha. I think during this long rest, because I can change it on a long or a short rest.
Yeah,
I want to change it to like slashing.
Slashing
Because
again?
that's what was happening a lot with the snake people.
fair. Well, it was mostly piercing actually. Almost all of that was piercing because they're biting you.
Oh, they were okay. In which case, if we're gonna go fight them, yeah, piercing.
Okay, switch it to piercing. Um, Okay, you get your long rest and wake up the next morning.
Rest. All right, and try to formulate a plan real quick, like, and grab some water.
Do it.
All right.
Okay.
Got my water.
So they give you the game plan. Basically, they do have a temple. These Yonti have some kind of temple about half a mile away, and they've been like hanging out there for who knows how long. But there's lots of obvious treasure there, stuff worth looting. They just don't know. They don't think that it's actually the Yontis. They just think that they kind of chose that temple for themselves recently, for some
Gotcha.
reason.
Well, we should try to do this quick and quiet. If we want to get in and get some stuff. I don't know if we want to fight a whole village.
Well, there's not that many. We've only seen like 3 or 4 of them hanging out there. They just kind of like hang out, lounge around the temple, and go up to the top. Seems like they kind of go inside now and then.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering if again we can't be sneaky about this. I have some magic. I can turn myself or someone else invisible.
Okay.
That lasts a decent amount of time. It's an hour, so I don't know if we want to have one of the sneakiest of our group do
Hmm.
this quietly, or if we
Voros
want to try to.
Voros
Yeah,
says, "I'm
I'm
probably the
thinking.
sneakiest, but I'm also not very good at being quiet, uh, as you recall from the Clattering Keep. Uh, Perhaps I don't know. I mean, you seem like the most accomplished here, Cass. Maybe you should just do it if you think that you can actually pull it off."
Okay, well, yeah, I could use that invisibility to sneak up on them and then try to land a good hit that would take them out real quick. Maybe do
Sure,
that once or twice without being seen, and then the fight is much easier.
that's a good point. I like this plan.
All
Strategist.
right. Yeah.
Okay. You gather up your teammates and you head across to the jungle temple, going quietly along the way. Um, the path there is totally untraveled. It's just like rough bushwhacking. So you do the best you can. Ambition makes short work of the vines and the trees as you go.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but eventually you arrive at the short distance from the jungle temple.
Awesome. Check this
Um,
map out.
you see it's a sort of stepped pyramid, as I've described, leading up to a sort of some kind of entrance at the top. You can see there are maybe two Yuan-Ti that you kind of spy from a distance that are keeping guard, and there are
Ah.
two more that are currently just kind of lounging up on the edge, doing pretty much nothing. It seems like they're just hanging
Okay.
out.
Okay. Well, I think I will quietly tell my compatriots that I'm going to try to take out the back ones first, so the guards, so the ones overwatching the guards, don't see them fall first.
All right.
And if you see things go wrong, run in and save my butt, please.
You got it. We've got your back. Take your time. Be safe. Your, Laurence, Larry, your dad says, "Good luck. You've got what it takes. I can tell. You're gonna do great.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks.
um,
You're welcome, son.
this
Feels weird. Good
is
luck.
awkward, yeah. Anyway, and I'm gonna like tap myself and go invisible.
Okay. You go invisible. Go ahead and tell me what you do.
All right, I'm gonna try to not in the. Was there a lot of like branches and like fallen debris? Was it like more soggy around in the forest, or like making would steps be more obvious crunching through the forest or up this center path in the mud?
Probably up a center path. If you were to go through the underbrush and try to get closer that way, that would be a much easier way to
Maybe,
avoid being seen.
maybe, or what do you mean?
Like if you go through the mud
The
up the central path, they'll definitely notice that there's like footprints appearing in the mud. It is muddy as heck, so
okay,
go through the
yeah,
woods.
okay, okay. I'm gonna try to do that, and then I'm gonna. Oop, I can't.
Oh,
But all right.
1 second. Let me fix that. That's
Oop,
permissions thing again.
naturally.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. All right, so I'm gonna kind of duck off into the woods here, kind of giving this guy a pretty wide berth.
Sounds
And
good.
I'm gonna try to get around him, kind of over through here,
Yep,
keeping
yep.
things between our lines of sight.
Okay, give me that stealth check.
Okay. Stealth.
Neutral check after the advantage disadvantage cancel.
Nice. This one. 12.
12.
Not horrible.
Let's see what their perception check is. 9.
Nice.
You get maybe 10 feet away, invisible, looking at this thing. It's currently just picking its teeth with like a piece of bone. It's got a whole row of fangs. Looks kind of
Mhm.
bored.
So I don't want to attack this guy. I want to get past him.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. You keep your
Yeah.
distance then. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to try to get like up here. So this guy's like not paying attention.
Yep.
This guy's not paying attention, right?
No, he's like
chilling.
kicking back and like eating a piece of fruit.
Gotcha. Let me see. So how would you rule this in terms of celestial revelation, my radiant soul feature? It's not a spell, it's an ability. Would that break my invisibility
For the flying thing?
for the celestial
No.
ability of being able to fly?
Nope.
Wonderful. I would like to try to fly up onto this thing up here quietly.
Yeah, so you summon your majestic flaming blue and black wings, and they are invisible. And you float on up to the second tier, no problem.
Wonderful. And I'm going to try to sneaky take this guy out.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and make a... You're invisible, he doesn't care at all. Make a attack roll with advantage. If you hit, I'll treat this like an auto crit, because he's essentially not dodging at all.
Gotcha. With advantage, so
Yep.
keep highest plus what's ambitions modifiers at 10 or 9. It's 10. 17.
That will hit. Not a very good... You only rolled 1d20.
Oh,
Nice.
whoops.
Just do it again. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
17.
not much better. But you do hit. Go ahead and make your auto crit. So roll 2d8 plus 10d6 for me.
2d8 plus 10 plus a fireball casually.
Yeah.
50 damage.
Oof. He has 45 hit points. With
Nice.
that, now this does break your invisibility, right? Because you made an attack.
Yes.
So as you
Yes.
stab through him and rip apart, he just doesn't even make any noise. He goes like, and then just dies. Just from the shock.
So brutal.
You're now standing there with your blazing wings visible up on the edge here.
First thing I want to do is, again, next chance I get is smack myself and go invisible again.
Okay, you immediately go visible again. That's fine. Make a stealth check again to avoid being seen by that.
Okay. Whoops.
Flat check.
Yeah, +1. Fucking 8.
Eight.
Rip.
It's only this guy who might have seen it, so he's going to make another perception check. You rolled a
I figured
7.
because he's facing the other way.
You rolled a
Oh
5
my
plus
God.
2. You see him like stop and look over, and like he like squints at the guy who's now like sprawled out on the ground, like smoke coming off of his chest. He's just like, eh. He turns around and looks back at the woods. You're good. You're stealthing still.
I'll like quietly like maybe prop him up and like put his hands like this, like he's like
Cover the
sleeping or
wound.
whatever.
Sure.
hmm And then I'm going to, considering I have specifically a minute of wings, I want to try to get like over to here. Again, being quiet,
Yeah.
trying to fly over the staircase,
No problem.
and then take this guy out as well.
Okay. He's also lounging, not paying attention. He's actually sleeping. So go ahead, make your attack with advantage, and auto crit on a success.
220, keep highest, +10.
That hits. Auto
20.
crit.
Nice. ND6 plus 2d8. 48.
48. He has 45 hit points. He is
Amazing.
sundered. Also gone.
And then again, invisibility.
Make another stealth check. Just spamming that
is-
magic.
That invisibility is at will is just broken. Oh god, no.
Let's see. Well, it's still possible. If he rolls a 1, it won't count. Roll an 8.
No, yeah.
This time, as you like rapidly spin the invisibility back up, this one whips his head around and like sees you for a moment. The wings are extended with your knife in this guy's chest, and you're like, whoosh, disappear.
I'm gonna like not move in hopes that he runs towards me.
You stand there for a moment, frozen. He says, "Ah!" and just screams and Snake some words you don't know. The other guy like whips around and comes charging over. What's up? What's up? He goes pointing and like gibbering madly towards where you were just standing. What are you doing?
I'm gonna move to here so that I'm not like, directly in the where I was before, and I'm
Sure.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, you move to there and wait. You see them yelling. You hear clattering over on top of the temple. One more guy comes charging out. And he like looks down and shouts something. He turns and shouts something back inside the temple. And you hear the sound of like something slithering and dragging on stone. You see a head, a very large snake-like head emerge from inside the temple, followed by 2, and then 2 more that all come out together, kind of weaving around each other. A very large creature, a hydra, emerges from within the top. All of its heads looking around, inspecting the area and sniffing. Make a stealth check. So bad.
Why am I rolling so bad?
You sit there waiting. You see one of the heads sniff the air, sniff more, and like look towards you and begin to snarl, showing its teeth. I need you to roll initiative.
God damn it. Why is my roll so bad? Oh, there's the 20. Dirty 20 for initiative.
Okay.
Big Hydra.
Alright. Okay, your buddies, seeing the ongoing chaos, are going to dive into battle when they see you getting hit. Okay. The Hydra has arrived.
See me getting hit by what?
Well, yeah, nothing has been hitting you yet, but they're waiting for that to come into action. Okay, Kaz, top of the round, you're the first one up. You're still invisible. The Hydra knows where you are and it's going to start attacking you when it can, but it's not there yet.
If I have wings for the last little second, I'd like to jump down.
Sure.
And then, so that was 10 feet. Ooh, I can't quite make it to that guy. God damn it. Alright, we're gonna attack this guy. Oh?
They are all alerted now, so you don't get any more up crits.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna hit this guy with some Eldritch Blast and run as far this way as I can.
Yeah, you can get to about there, yeah.
20 feet, and then hit him with some Eldritch Blast.
Alright.
Spells. Pew, pew. Oof, a nat 1 for a 10. 10, 12, 22.
Okay. That guy's AC is 14, so 1 hits, 9 force damage.
Just the 9 force. Oof.
Alright. Foros sees you diving into the fray. He's going to come out from behind the bush. Be like, I can help! He's going to aim his little crossbow, start shooting a couple arrows across the open space.
You!
Boo. 1 hits for 6 piercing. Okay.
Wait, oh yeah.
That one's been hit twice. He's going to shriek and charge you with his spear over his head and attack you recklessly, giving himself advantage on all of his attacks.
Oh no.
It's going to be a... Sorry. Okay, so...
2 15s.
Let me do this right. Okay, 15, 15, 22, and 9. So just 1 claw attack hits for 5 slashing.
5 slashing, which is slashing, not piercing.
Right,
damn
right.
it. But it's 5 damage. I can't be mad about that.
Okay. Larry is gonna run up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yelling, and he's gonna also try to help with the crossbow.
Very good.
2 crossbow crit.
Did he crit? Nice.
So 13 plus 5 is 18 piercing damage from Larry. To the one that you're
Very
fighting.
nice.
He's helping out. Actually, no, he's gonna hit the other one instead. You've got that one handled. Okay.
Oh, the Hydra.
Parlad. Parlad's gonna wheel into the fray. He's got movement speed of... Can't do 70. He's just gonna action dash and like fly across the open field, grass and mud spinning up under his tires as he wheels forward with his lance lowered, aiming for this bodyguard. Yeah, bodyguard's gonna charge to meet him and attack recklessly. Bite attack for advantage 18, that will hit Parlad, and that one misses. So 8 piercing to Parlad.
Not too bad.
You can take it. Alright, the other one at the top of the mountain, or the pyramid's gonna jump on this like slope and just slide all the way down, like a slide.
Oh,
and
that's
jump
cheaty.
off. He's gonna turn and chuck a spear at you.
Ooh.
He only has 1 though.
Jerk.
treat it like this. 17 to hit, so misses.
Does not hit.
All right. The Hydra is going to descend the steps. It pops out from the inside of the pyramid and begins to waddle down its little legs, dragging its corpulent body. It's a fun word.
Corpulent.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, gets there. It's gonna dash. And now it's within.
It doesn't have any actions.
Yeah, it doesn't have any actions, but it's now like looming up over you. It's 5 heads hissing down toward you. Cass. I'll say at this point, your Celestial Revelation has evaporated. Your fly
that's
is
gone. Is it? Yeah, that would be. All right. Well, it's Tasha's time.
Tasha time.
That was a bonus action, and then with my action, oh, I'm small. There we go. I'm going to attack twice with ambition the buddy in front of me for a 27 and a 24.
Sheesh. Okay, with a 27, that's going to be 35 slashing.
Yep.
The first one alone kills him.
Oh wow, Jesus! All right,
He's gone.
nice. All right, and then I will turn and try to attack the Hydra
Okay.
with that 24.
24. Okay. That will hit, dealing 34 slashing and fire damage.
Yep.
Okay. Damn.
And then my movement, I'm going to try to get up basically out of claw range, like stay within its sphere, but get, like 15 feet up off the ground.
So you're not getting out of its attack range, just away from its
No,
feet.
yeah.
Okay.
Out of its
Fair.
face attack range, but I don't want it to be able to claw at me or whatever.
Yeah. Dealing 34 damage, fire and slashing at 1 hit. You blast off the ground, your wings flapping. You use your flaming sword and bash, and you swing it up, and you slice clean through one of its necks.
God.
The head goes spiraling off, blood splashing. Because it's fire, it sears the wound shut as you slice up through it, and you see it bulging underneath the scar tissue, but it can't regrow because of the amount of damage you hit in one do. You now fly up by its head, and the neck that's writhing. The other 4 heads are snapping at you from below.
Oh boy, okay. And that's my turn. That's movement, action, bonus.
Okay. Voros, he's going to run up to help as well. He's going to shoot at the one other dude.
Get him.
2 attacks.
Take care of my lightweight.
Totally misses. Okay, Larry is going to charge with Parlad towards this guy and use his great sword. That's a crit from another crit from Larry.
Nice.
And a hit. Oh, geez, yeah. 20, 32. Yeah, he marks this other Broodguard over here. He just cleaves it in half with his greatsword, and it collapses underneath it. As Parlad's getting ready to attack with this spear, he just comes charging past him and beats him. Parlad's like, "Oh man, I had that one." He looks over and sees the one next to the Hydra, and he's like, "I'm just gonna stay over here." He's gonna shoot at it from a distance and not hit.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
The one next to you, you're too high up now, so it's gonna charge at Larry instead. With a reckless bite and claw attack for advantage. Both hit for 13 slashing to Larry. Slashing and piercing, I should say. Now the Hydra's going to try and eat you.
Oh, no.
It has 4 heads, which means it gets 4 attacks.
Oh, God.
First attack. That 1. Second attack. 13. Third attack. 11.
Nope.
Wow! Fourth attack. 16!
Yes!
You kidding me? I didn't roll higher than an 8. That was so bad.
Oh.
They're all snapping at your feet. You're ducking, weaving, pulling your feet up at the last second out of its mouth as it closes around your ankles.
Oh, scary.
It's mad. Okay. Your turn.
All right. We're gonna keep going with the Tashas, and we're gonna take a couple attacks at the Hydra. 26 and 15.
26 hits, 15 also hits. Damn.
Nice.
Let's check. Single turn. Okay. That's 29 and 26 or 46. Or, no, 55. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, consistency.
Yeah, 55 slashing and fire. You do a number on this thing.
37 of that is fire.
You slice off another one of its heads, leaving behind only 3. It's roaringly angry now, but still alive. Okay. Voros. Voros is going to strafe around and shoot at the other dude. Heavy crossbow. 1 hit for 4 piercing.
4 piercing, very good.
He's helping. Larry, going to use his greatsword again. No, he's going to yell and say, "Come on, Kaz, you got that thing. Kill that monster." You have a D4 bonus to your attack rolls.
Nice, I will take it.
Parlod, he's going to circle around, back up a bit, and then charge this thing from behind with his gore attack. That hits. And then a 19, yeah, for a total of 23 piercing damage.
Nice.
Okay. That one's going to attack Larry again. Recklessly.
At 1 and a...
14. 1 hit for Larry for 6. Now the Hydra, which only has 3 heads, is going to do 3 attacks on you.
Oh, God.
17.
No.
24,
Yes,
finally.
that one
14
hits.
piercing, by the way, which you are resistant to. So 7 piercing
Which
damage.
I resist to.
You bastard.
So 7 piercing.
Make a concentration check. And
last-
then 27 for an additional 7 piercing, which is 3 after you have it. So 10 piercing damage total. Take 2 concentration checks.
Okay, 20 for the first one.
You're good.
And 22 for the
Yeah,
second
you're good.
one. Whew, okay.
Again, you're too fast. Ducking and weaving in and out of its mouths, you manage to avoid the vast majority of the pain it would otherwise cause.
Whew.
Okay, your turn.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep this train rolling. We're gonna keep swinging.
Ouch.
24, 28.
Damn. Yeah. You lop off another one of its heads. 31,
That's plus 10,
26,
man.
56. 56 damage. Yeah, this is like... I did not plan this, but this is actually one of the best matchups for you, given the type of monster. The fact that you already have resistance to piercing, you can fly,
Yeah.
and you're doing like shit tons of fire and slashing damage. It's the perfect combo.
36 fire damage on that one.
Or like a complete aggressive advantage. Okay. Yeah, you lop off another head. It's down to 2. Voros
Nice.
and Larry and Parlot are going to keep taking their attacks. Keep it simple and speed it up with some crossbow.
It's been what, 3 turns? 3 or 4 turns for... Because Tasha's only lasts for a minute.
Yeah,
I want to keep track of that.
Just 3. You've done 3 heads each round.
Oh, okay, yeah, so 3 turns. I've got 7 more.
1,
I might
2,
need them.
8 more piercing damage to the guy. They're like they all just swarm on him, and they're just like wailing on him with their swords and lance and dagger.
He's getting bullied.
He's
guy.
still alive though. He's gonna lash out at Larry one more time with advantage. 20, yeah, both hit. 13 slashing to Larry. Larry's starting to look bad.
If he's attacking recklessly, doesn't that mean they get advantage on him
Oh, yeah.
too?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're still hitting. Okay, Hydra is up. 2 attacks this time. 18 and 12. 15 piercing, so 7 piercing to Kaz. Concentration check.
Okay, con check. 26.
You're good.
Yeah. And how much piercing?
15, so 7 after resistance.
7. Got it.
It's starting to
Right.
get like lethargic. You can see its stumps are all bleeding.
Ugh.
You're up.
All right. We've been consistent thus far. 15 and 25.
Its armor class is 15. Damn it.
Jeez. Okay, so I need to roll a 5 or lower.
It rolled
Or I need
so
to roll a
bad.
4 or lower.
So bad against you. Like, if it just rolled what, a 10 or higher, I think it would hit you automatically. But
Yeah.
it rolled like 8s and lower most of the time. Anyway, that's 29 plus 28, so 57 fire damage. How do you want to do this?
No, that's both of them?
Yeah.
I thought I had 2 more heads.
It has 2 heads, but it has finite health as well.
Okay. Both heads in one slash.
Yeah.
I like kind of get down underneath towards its chest where the heads meet, and I just like slash at it.
You emboldened by your success, you dive down to the ground with your wings outspread, and you land. As it's like trying to come down to chase you, you run towards its core body with your ambition holding forth. You watch its eyes snap open, and like for a moment, like locks eyes with you, and you feel something seem to awaken within it. The blade seems to grow almost a couple extra feet long as you swing it up through the air, and it slices through 2 of the stumps at once at the core, at the base of the monster, carving through like part of its rib cage and clavicle, and just chunk all the entire piece of it off. They flop down in a massive heap around you, thudding heavily to the ground as it is decimated by your attack. Dead.
Jeez.
All right.
Dead Hydra. Holy crap.
And then seconds later, your friends with advantage jump onto this guy and stab him down until he collapses under the onslaught, gone. With that, the combat is over.
That could have gone real bad. I'm glad it didn't. The Hydra is scary, dude.
Getting rid of the 2 of the guys beforehand was important for the like action economy, and then just being able to consistently do that damage output and not lose concentration was huge.
Yeah. That's how Kaz is built. He's meant to not lose concentration.
Yeah.
And just smack things.
All right. You join your friends again. They're like, how many of those wings do you have?
Well, let's see. I can fly 3 times. I can fly for a minute, and then I can fly for another minute.
So far.
And that's about it.
Well, that's still very cool. We're very impressed. Well,
takes a lot. You guys okay? Anybody need like healing or anything?
We're all fine. Larry's like got a couple scrapes, but he's like, it's fine. I've had worse on my journey here. Let's get in this temple and make sure it's clear, and then if we can find enough loot, let's get out of here. I want to go home.
All right.
We got a long walk back to the camp.
I'm gonna use healing hands to give myself some healing for free.
Sure.
11 hit points.
How much damage did you actually take in that entire fight?
I went from 108 to like 86, so...
Like 22? Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Versus the other one where you're like, got fucked.
Yeah, that was like 1 attack did that.
Alright.
With the Griffin. Griffins are like extra scary.
The rock. The big old rock.
The rocks are, yeah.
Alright, so
let's explore.
You ascend the temple and climb into the precipice where the creature had kind of popped out. You see that the walls of the entrance have been like worn away by the grinding of this large beast in and out of its lair. Inside, there's like a spiral staircase going down to a large like hollow interior. At the base inside, you see mounds of hoarded wealth, treasure. These like ancient statues that are gilded in gold, but they've been like broken and kind of crumbled apart. They would be worth much more if they were intact, but they've just been kind of like dragged here and tossed into a pile, just sort of from the surrounding area. They've been looted previously already. They all shout in excitement and charge down there and begin like rifling through the stuff and trying to like estimate its worth. Make an insight check or a perception check for me.
I will do perception. D20 plus 6. 8. Wow. Good.
Yeah.
The bad rolls are now, not then.
You can't quite estimate it. You would guess the amount of wealth in this chamber is between about 30k and about 50k.
That seems like, maybe with some arguing, that this could be what we need.
They're like, yeah, I think this might actually do it. If we get all the stuff, we go back to camp and get the rest of our stuff, and we gather it all up. How are we getting this back to camp?
They don't give you guys a way of getting a...
Well, we have like a cart, but like we can't all take it in one trip. It's too much bulk.
I mean, I can get us back to Parhua once, but...
Once?
you think we could? I mean, how much could we hold at once? Because
Well, you do some quick thinking. You could easily, if you brought all the wealth together and piled it up and put it on the cart, and like everyone kind of picked up a few odds and ends, they were considering, how are we going to carry this back 220 miles over rough terrain to the village? For a teleportation circle, this is more than enough, more than doable.
Okay, yeah. Well then, yeah, I can teleport us back.
You carried a teleportation circle via teleportation circle. You can make this work, I think.
That's true.
On a stone slab.
We had 4 people, so it makes sense.
All right.
Yo, dog, I heard you like teleportation, so we teleported your teleporter so you could teleport while you teleport.
Oh my god. So yeah, you spend the next hour or so running back to camp, shipping everything to like pile it all up in one big circle, so you guys can easily move this back to Parhua. You get there, you pile it up, and they all watch as you draw the teleportation sigil back to Parhua that you just memorized. Good thing you memorized it.
Good thing I memorized it.
A bit of a pain otherwise. You drew it out and pile it up. You pick up as much as you can, and then you finish the circle at the last moment. You watch them all like stare wide-eyed as the light flashes, and you all are teleported away back to the very center of Parhua, where with a flash you all land, scattering like dozens of gold coins and like 2 ancient relics that topple over, and everyone turns around in an abrupt confusion. This was not, a predetermined arrival, but as you all stand up and dust yourselves off, the sergeant guy comes running up and he says, "What is this? What is this business? What do you all?" And then he sees all the piles of gold and like kind of stares at it, looks at you. He's like, "You were just here like 2 days ago, weren't you?"
Yeah. See, I went to find Laurence, like you told me. He was up that way, and I found him.
Well,
and, these gentlemen found this large pile of stuff, and
oh my,
yeah.
He looks it over, and they all go over, and he starts like taking an inventory. And he says, "I think this is quite the find. You lot, let's get your balances figured out. Let's do some accounting here." They start running back and forth and taking note. They begin inventorying and like trying to assess it. They have like 2 people on staff here whose job it is to like identify and evaluate the wealth of these like relics, like what they would go for an auction. It's like they have a whole staff here dedicated to this process.
I bet.
About an hour later, they come back and say the total value of your haul is evaluated at 48,000 gold pieces. Dividing that by the 4 of you, that leaves you each with 12,000 each that you are contributing to your debts. You're a volunteer, though?
Yeah, I don't have any debts. Can I take, 1,000 gold and redistribute the rest to them?
Well, and they look at the other 3 of them are like, please, they need 15,000 each to finish off their debts.
Right.
So they each need 3,000 from you. So 9,000 of the total.
So that leaves 3,000 for me.
3,000 is your portion of the haul.
Yeah.
And then you negotiated for 30% of that. So 1,000 gold pieces is your cut.
Yep.
All right. All that being said, you gain 1,000 gold pieces. They pay you.
Wonderful.
Larry, Parlad, and Voros have their debts wiped clean, and they haul away all the relics, gold, and looted material as pay. They stamp a bunch of official-looking documents, and you see them like cast a couple sendings, and they walk over to all 4 of you and say, "All right, you are cleared. You're welcome to stay here until the next available wizard comes through to send you back home, unless you have the means to do this, Cass."
No, yeah, I can take us somewhere. Where do you guys want to go? Crystalia?
Larry says, "Guys, I know I've been talking a big game about Crystalia all this time." Parlad's like, yeah. What about that? Let's go see Larry's place. He says he's got a nice digs back home. I want to see it. I want to see if he's talking truth or not. Boris and I have a bet, 3 gold. It's not actually a pyramid that he lives in, and they all agree. They're like, yeah, let's go to Crystalia.
You might want to up that bet. Pyramid? Are you kidding me?
So,
and then I'll draw the circle and send this to Crystalia.
all right. You do so. You all head to Crystalia and teleport away from the tropics, across the open sands to Laurence Ravillon's ancestral home, and to the location of your in-laws. Or I guess not your in-laws, your direct relatives, but you didn't know that really very thoroughly until now. Larry steps out into the hot but not humid dry sands of Crystalia, breathes deep, and he says, "Oh, finally." Turns around, looks at you, Kaz, and says, You did this, and I am grateful to you for that."
I mean, I just, I wanted to talk, and I, had a vision of you out in the forest in danger, and I thought I could help.
Normally, I would accredit this stroke of good fortune to Serendella for her watching over myself and my family. But given that it was my family that came to do it, I can only really truly give you the credit. So thank you, Cass. Truly.
Well, you could thank Serendella for giving me the blessing that I have, because without it I couldn't have made it here.
That's fair enough. Erathis gives and provides for those who deserve it, and best I can tell from our brief interactions, you are a good man who deserves it. So let's
keep it that way.
Let's go to my house. I need you to meet my brother and your uncle, and you guys need a drink of my liquor cabinet. I owe you. And they all begin marching off to the pyramids together. What happens the rest of the night? You guys are welcomed back with open arms. The brother of Laurence, whose name I've forgotten at the moment, your uncle, he welcomes you back in. He's surprised to see Laurence and is overjoyed to learn that he has a nephew. He's shocked at your previous interactions where you didn't reveal this truth. But
Advocate Lester.
Yes, but there's more shock and a bit of crying and some excited communications about this whole ordeal. You're treated to a lavish feast hosted by your uncle and father, and Parlad and Voros voraciously imbibe in the feast and the food and the drink, grateful to have the opportunity to just really kick back and enjoy life. It's a good time. And then, about midnight, when things are winding down, you get a sending from Zephyr, who's like, "Hey, I need help again. I'm kind of stuck over in this part." And you realize, because of the clock, you promised you'd pick up Sir tomorrow morning from Greymore, where you dropped him off the other day, 3 days ago.
Right.
So you, knowing that you can't really stay for now, what do you do?
I'd like to let my dad know that, thanks for the hospitality. I'm glad that, I could be of help to get you out of a bad situation. And Voros, you didn't really, you kind of earned where you were at, but happy to help nonetheless.
He sighs and says, "You're not wrong. I'll accept that. Now that I'm out on the other side of that and I'm alive and debt-free, I probably never would have gotten it mining those rocks down in the underground secret caves. So even though it's kind of your fault I got thrown in this adventuring ring with everyone else, I'll give you credit for getting me back out of it again. So thanks, bro."
Speaking of, that giant rock that you were digging out?
Yeah.
That you were looking to geode?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you might consider yourself lucky that you weren't there, because that was a dragon egg, and it would have killed you.
Oh,
when it
one
hatched,
of those crystal dragons that have been flying around and attacking people. And...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you would have been there when it hatched. That would have been not a good time.
Well, that's just fate, I guess. All's well that ends well. So
you're a lucky man, Boros.
I wouldn't have considered it that way, but I'll need to think about that more, as maybe being true. And then Parlad, thanks you as well.
Parlad, you are one tough son of a bitch.
Do what I have to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kaz. It's pleasure meeting you. If you're ever in the tropics again, look up my family in Ilhuatl. They might be available for hosting, and tell them that Parlot sent you. That's where I'm headed after I'm done here.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, if you guys ever need anything, feel free. I'm sure Larry will be able to get a hold of me at some point, somehow.
I'm sure. Larry said, we'll hire a guy to send to you, Kaz, if I want to reach out to you. I mean, I'll put the ball in your court. This has been sort of your venture to find me and help me out, and I'm really grateful for that. But, I don't want to, overstep or anything, so if this is what you hoped for, I hope it was.
It was. I'd like to stay in touch.
Okay, great. Just reach out then whenever you want to, and we can chat.
Yeah, that sounds great.
He goes in for an awkward hug.
I'll hug him back and
you get this hug from a parent figure, the first time it's ever happened in your existence, and you feel a little weird.
It's a little weird, but it takes work to make it from weird to family. So,
all right. Happy to meet you, Kaz. I'm glad you found me.
One last thing before I head out. There's a order of paladins here, aren't there?
Oh yeah, the Brotherhood of Hieronius. They're all great.
Yeah, is there any temples to Arathis or around here?
There's a shrine, the Font of Purity, at the center of the town. It's a beautiful fountain that we help maintain. We donate to the caretakers, but it's not really a fancy temple. It's more of just a shrine.
Can you tell me where that is? I'd like to go say my thanks.
Yeah, he goes over to a window at the top of this pyramid and points. You can see it. It's a decorative fountain at the very center of town near one of the main thoroughfares that people they toss in coins for good luck and pay their dues to the center of civilization, the center of the heart of the city. You know enough about the different religions of the world that's very common. Arathis typically has a shrine at the heart of any given city, even if they don't have a temple. But
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go there and kind of throw in a coin and think about the gifts bestowed upon me and how I want to use them to help people, even though I kind of have another power source that's not as nice, and how I don't want to let that change me.
As you say all that, you're just kind of thinking it in your head. You feel a small burst of fire behind you, and you turn your head around. You see Zarut stepping out through the flames into the space next to you. He kind of looks up at you. He says, "Hey, boss. I got something I gotta say."
What's up, buddy?
We've been through a lot together and done a lot of adventuring and stuff like that. That's all been pretty cool, I guess. But, I feel like we're not really growing in the same direction. And I think it's time for me to maybe hit the road. I think I got other opportunities that I'll be better suited for. Back with the Blue Duke's army, things are kind of spinning up really quick right now. And I don't know, man. I just feel like, we've had our time together and it's time to move on.
It would be nice to have you around to help out every now and again, but if that's what you got to do, then so be it.
All right, dude. Probably won't see you again, but if I do, good luck, I guess. No hard feelings.
Yeah. We'll see each other around, I'm sure. Thinking of the impending conflict with the Blue Duke.
He kind of nods once and turns around and pauses once, looking over his shoulder at you, and you see again the alien, intelligent little yellow eyes of this purple pseudo dragon looking back at you. And he says, "It's been fun." And then he.
Oh, one last thing, and I'll reach into my pack. I think I have the last bottle of booze that I'll throw at him.
You chuck it to him. He turns and reaches for it. As he does, his form shimmers and he transforms into an imp. He just catches it, a little purple imp, and he sits there with his grotesque little body and horned head, and he says, "Right on," and drains the entire bottle right in front of you, drops it in the sand, and then turns and walks away and bursts into purple flames before disappearing.
Well, I can't say I expected that, but all right.
As he
Do what you gotta
leaves,
do.
you feel a twinge in the brand. Something changes permanently.
Oh, what was it all like?
You look. It looks no different, but you feel like an aspect of that power that you've been borrowing this whole time was just lessened. Speaking mechanically, you just lost your pact of the not the Chain Keeper. You still have Pact of the Chain Keeper, but you lost the ability to cast Find Familiar. Zarud is gone. So,
Yeah.
mechanically speaking, what I mean by this is that that even though that's a significant feature of your Warlock class and subclass, it's now inaccessible to you. And
Right.
if you should choose, you may be able to explore and potentially reacquire one of the other features of that level. I'm saying, like, if you were to go back in time and pick a different feature, you could pick a new one.
Oh, interesting.
But it needs to make sense thematically. So you've got to
Right,
earn it.
because there's the pacts. Okay, I can look at that, and I will. I'll take a look at those.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, like, Pact of the Talisman, for example, is one such thing, or Pact of the Blade.
Right.
You could get some other options.
Nice. Okay, I will explore these. Interesting.
So you teleport back to Drakengard and coordinate with your friends to gather them up once again. You return to the Perilous Fairyton to gather and share your stories of the adventures you've been on the past week, and we'll get to that in our next session as a group once again.
Wonderful.
For now, that is the end of our one shot. You did it. You found your dad, you saved him, and almost died, but didn't.
Almost died. Sent my mom to jail, and lost the route.
Retired's the route.
Yep. Yeah.
I will. One additional comment is, you feel like that last sort of push that pushed Zarud away, that made him want to leave, was this deliberate prayer to Arathis here in the shrine. You felt like something about it seemed to this willful acceptance of Arathis in a way that you hadn't really considered before seemed to push him out, and he accepted it as a final straw.
I mean, that makes sense. Interesting. Well, that's not something that I'm going to be able to change because, kind of trying to pursue this whole Arathis thing, since that's where my power comes from. We'll see what the future holds.
Very good. Well, thanks if you've been watching, and thanks for playing, Josh. Call it there.
Yep. Awesome. See you stream.